The numbers told the story. They always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Monday morning to you. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM channel 158. It's Gil Alexander, and in the house, once again, back from his trip all last week, Kelly Bidlin, everybody. Producer number 9. So much more than a producer.
Good to be back. Good to be back. Fun time in Florida, Gil, but lots of football going on. It's tough to keep up with everything, as you know.
Family's good?
Yeah, it was great. Great seeing the whole family all over the state, driving all over the place. Lots of travel.
And inevitably, there was a family member or two that was upset with you because you didn't spend enough time with them.
Oh, it's like I always feel guilty because you see people for like a day or two, and it's like, all right, see you, I got to go to the next place.
Well, we're glad to have you back. Danny Higgins was awesome for 4 of your 5 days. Wyatt Tomczyk for the 5th of those 5 days. We had a good old time.
Yeah, man. Sounded like it. Sounded like Wyatt was stirring up some problems on Friday. That's what I heard.
Wyatt? Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was just doing double negatives a lot. Yeah, so he didn't.
I don't even know
he
that.
did an Are we sure with like 5 negatives in one question, so I couldn't figure out how to answer them.
Okay. I don't even know about that part. All I know is he texted me on Friday about something about who was doing the show on Monday.
Oh, yeah. He said
like,
you
did you just confuse everybody about who was doing the show on Monday?
He said you weren't going to be here. Yeah.
Thanks, Wyatt.
But you're here. We will do Week 18 guessing lines. This is the squirreliest of all the guessing lines because you have to try to figure out with some of these teams how they are going to play Week 18.
Yes.
Not teams that are trying to get to the number 1 seed. Obviously not teams that are locked in, but teams we have to sort of guess if they care about seeding. We'll get into all of that with all these teams that applies to. First, Circa Survivor update once again. We talked about the Christmas fallout. The Christmas fallout where only one of the remaining 10 lost. The person who went with the Commanders, they hedged, though, with Derek Stevens. They made themselves whole with a few $100,000. Good on them. Well, Kelly, we went from 9 to 6 yesterday. 9 to 6 because 3 had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I hope that those 3 guys or gals had some monetization things happening so that they are made to feel whole as well. I would hate to think that they didn't come out with anything in this. So we are down to 6. By the way, one of the 3 is one of the 4 who had the Vikings on Christmas. So coming off that unbelievable survival on the Vikings, then they lose on the Bucs 3 days later.
Oof,
that's tough. But 6 are left. 6. Actual, or I should say implied value, intrinsic value of each of the remaining 6 entries in this $18,718,000 pot. $3,119,666.67. 6 entries left heading into week number 20, if you will, of all 20 weeks.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Man, I would be on the phone so much over the past 2 weeks with people who, whether it was Derek here or people to chop or whatever. Oh, man, this is the time it gets a little nutty.
Though I can't imagine there's a chop because the person who has the Jaguars, for instance, I know the Jaguars, because we talked about this last week when we did Survivor when you weren't here. I said the person who has the Jaguars almost has to save the Jaguars because the Jaguars host the Titans, I believe, right? This week. So that person is probably he's not going to want to have any kind of equitable chop anyway, right? He's going to be like, well, if we're chopping, I'm getting more of it. So anyway, here's where we are.
But even that I'd be okay with. That's right. We have a lot of people that are like, no, like chop it even. I'd be like, I'd be willing to give up a few percentage points for that.
Yeah. I think he probably will be willing to take.
And this is also, you and I are usually, I don't want to say anti-hedge, but we don't hedge often.
No.
Seeing that guy hedge over the weekend, I was very happy to see. How much happier are you with a few $100,000 in your pocket?
Anyway, 6 left. Good luck to all. My goodness. Remember, 35 got to the promised land. It was only 18 weeks that year in Circa Survivor. There was 17 weeks of season plus Thanksgiving. Every other year was 20, I believe, 20 weeks since then. 2020, 35 got to the finish line, but then every other year after. 2021 finished with 5. I believe 2022 had 1 elimination in the last week. That finished with 2. 2023, 4. Last year, there were still more. Last year, there was 10, I think, eliminated on the final week. Went from 18 to 8.
That's what I was just going to ask.
Yeah.
8 is what we finished with last year?
8. We finished with 8 last year. So that's really 2022, 1 person, 2024, 10 eliminated final week. And this year, we will see how many of the remaining 6 will be eliminated. Good luck to all. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's do it. We got a lot to talk about. Without further ado, guessing lines, Week 18 in the National Football League. Let us do this.
Let's do it, man.
I am aware of the scheduling because I was watching the end of that Niners-Bears and kept the TV on and saw the way they broke down this schedule. Pretty interesting.
Did you, do you have any problems with that?
No. I understand they got to put 2 games on Saturday. They're locked into that, and they got one.
And we don't want to do a Monday. I get that, too.
And one Sunday nighter. So Sunday's day schedule is going to...
I guess I meant more with, like, the time. I don't know that we needed to wait all that long yesterday to get a schedule.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know.
It felt a little silly in 2025. All right, Saturday we got 2. One early, 1:30 Pacific time, 4:30 Eastern. Panthers at Bucks.
Battle for the NFC South crown. Panthers could have clinched this when the Bucks lost to the Dolphins yesterday. Theoretically, Carolina could have clinched this with a win over Seattle. Not to be. It was 3-3 at the half between Carolina and Seattle. Kind of a weird first half. And then Seattle, to start the third quarter, set up at their own 40 after a kickoff was short of the zone. 2nd and 10 at the Carolina 18. Darnold picked by Mike Jackson in the back of the end zone. Carolina maintains the 3-3 tie, but the very first play of the next drive, 1st and 10 at their own 20. Chuba Hubbard stripped by DeMarcus Lawrence, recovered by Lawrence. Seattle set up at the Carolina 21. 6 plays, Charbonnet in from 2, 10-3. Then 3rd and 3 at their own 41 for the Panthers, down 7 now. Bryce picked by Julian Love, returns at 27 yards. Seattle set up at the Carolina 29. 4 plays, Darnold to Barner from 17 out, 17-3. Seahawks, 5:32 left in the third quarter. Carolina would respond with a 13-play, 69-yard drive. Bryce with an 8-yard run on 4th and 1 at their own 40. 9 plays later, Bryson from 10, 17-10. Seahawks early fourth quarter, but Seattle 3rd and 21 at their own 34. Right, this could have gotten interesting. Carolina could have gotten the ball back down 7. Little concession pass to JSN, but J.C. Horn hits him in the face. The face mask extends the drive. They get a Myers 30-yard field goal. They were going to be off the field. 20-10 Seahawks. After a Carolina 4-and-out, Seattle would set up at the Carolina 25. 3 drives starting within the Carolina 30-yard line. 5 plays, all Charbonnet rushes, in from 1, 27-10. That's how it would end. So a final score that looks way worse than it actually kind of was, to be quite honest with you. Seattle with 3 short fields. And again, Carolina a face mask penalty away from having the ball with a chance to tie, or if they went for 2, win it, I guess. Carolina, that's what happened to them yesterday. While they were doing that, Tampa Bay was gacking it to the Dolphins. Tampa Bay, first drive, 14 plays, 68 yards. Baker to Godwin from 5 out, 7-0 Bucks. But the Dolphins, who have nothing to play for, came right back, 3 plays, 65 yards. Ewers to Theo Weiss Jr. for 63. Sure. That's what I love about week 17 and 18. Just names you never hear before.
Yeah.
7-7 late first quarter. It would be 10-7 Dolphins. When Tampa Bay, 2nd and 11 at their own 38, Baker picked deep by Jason Marshall Jr. Miami would go 76 yards. Quinn Ewers to Greg Dulcich from 11 out, 17-7 Dolphins. And then McLaughlin would have a field goal try blocked, a 55-yarder to end the half. So 17-7 Dolphins. These 3 survivors, these poor 3 survivors are like, oh, God, is this really happening? Tampa Bay, second time they got the ball. They got it to 1st and goal to 7, had to settle for McLaughlin 33-yard field goal to cut it to 17-10. Then at 20-10, Tampa Bay from their own 22 to the Miami 32, 1st and 10. Baker picked by Ashton Davis. Next time Tampa Bay gets the ball, again, they're down 10 with 5:20 left, their own 32. All 3 timeouts. They convert a 4th, but 2nd and 3 at the Miami 31. Baker sacked by Bradley Chubb. He gets a nice $900,000 incentive bonus with that sack. Fumbles recovered by Quentin Bell. So Tampa Bay had so many shots at getting back in this game, pardon me, just couldn't. Next time they got their ball from their own 9 with 1:50 left, down 10, no timeouts. Baker to Godwin for 59 to start. A sprint from Godwin, 2 plays and a PI later. Baker to Evans from 4 out, 20-17. But by this time, Tampa Bay had no timeouts left, and they needed to recover an onside kick with 50 seconds left. Couldn't do it. Onside kicks now 5 of 50 this year, I believe. Or now 5 of 51, if I'm not mistaken. And the Bucks lose. So it sets up this game between Carolina And Tampa Bay, the 8-8 Panthers, the 7-9 Bucks at Tampa. Remember, Carolina beat them a couple weeks ago. Baker, by the way, 33 of 44 for 346 in defeat. Now, the winner wins the NFC South, and Tampa Bay would win that, by the way, based on a third tiebreaker edge in common games, in case you were curious. There is one other quirk to this, Kelly. If Atlanta wins out, meaning they beat the Rams tonight, I know that's a big if, but if they beat the Rams tonight and win next week, and Tampa Bay wins that game hosting Carolina, then all three teams would be 8-9, and the Panthers would win the NFC South based on sweeping the Falcons to give them a 3-1 mark in the common games between the three, not the common games, but the the schedule, if you will, between those three teams, while the Falcons and Bucks split their games, leaving the Bucks 2-2 in that scenario. So Carolina has two ways in, if you will. I know one is remote.
Yeah, still something to play for, Atlanta.
But basically, well, Atlanta has something to play for. It doesn't involve them.
Yeah, just to help Carolina.
But I'll say Tampa Bay minus 2.5 here hosting Carolina. Battle for the NFC South title.
Yeah, I guess I'm surprised you didn't go with the straight 3, but it is 3 across the board. Everywhere.
I am surprised that it's 3. I'm surprised that you're surprised that I didn't go with a 3. Why is Tampa Bay has lost 7 of 8 football games?
They're brutal.
Why should they get the full 3?
Because Carolina is an absolutely terrible football team, I think.
Do you know what Tampa Bay is in the NFC? Do you know what place they're in? 11th. Dallas and Minnesota and Detroit are all better than them in the standings. We'll come back. Guessing line. You're here because you want an edge. That's what separates listeners from winners. But let's be real, mindset alone doesn't get bets home. Pros win because they've got the tools, the data, and the discipline. And now so can you. VSiN Pro gives you access to the same real-time insights the sharps use. No secrets, no fluff, just actionable info that moves markets. Tap the link and see why serious bettors are turning knowledge into profit with VSiN Pro.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Fremont Street Experience is always on, but this New Year's Eve, they're turning it all the way up. See what I did there? Bring in 2026, the countdown under the canopy, happening December 31st all night long. You'll get 6 live concerts on 3 stages featuring Robin Thicke, Lost Without You, CeeLo Green, and Chingy. Plus a massive countdown and light spectacular on the iconic Fremont Street canopy. 1 ticket, 1 night, just $60, and the party starts at 7 p.m., and it don't stop. Grab your tickets now at VegasExperience.com, the Slotzilla box office, or at any gate location on December 31st. You going to be there, Kelly? You going to go to that?
No. I will be asleep.
That is a hard no for
Hard no.
Yeah.
Sorry, we wake up really early. I've gotten very used to sleeping through fireworks in Las Vegas.
We does get up early. Brady Kramer on Twitter. We get tweets beating the book. Brady Kramer. You guys going to discuss Offensive Rookie of the Year this morning? Interested to get your thoughts on the market and the options to hedge as someone holding a Shuck 200-1 ticket. Thanks, Gil. Love the show. Thank you, Brady. Appreciate it. Do we think, first of all, Teteroa McMillan, a slight favorite now. Tyler Shuck, some very small plus money. Looks like a mano a mano. Though, there are others who lurk.
Yep.
What do you think right now?
I think it's an absolutely fascinating race, and I think voters could rightfully go in a lot of different directions. Unfortunately, I think it was a really good rookie class with guys that put on great periods of great play during the season, right? 4, 5, 6 week stretches that we saw out of like maybe the top 5 names on the board here of great play. And it kind of just feels like we're sputtering to the end, right?
Yes, we are. We are sputtering.
That's what it feels like. And I guess the big question, I know we had guests on this show over the past couple of weeks who were talking about Tyler Shuck and grabbing tickets at what was it, 15, 20-1, something like that. Then I guess the question I have, Gil, is do we care that much about what Tyler Shuck does in meaningless games down the stretch of a season?
That's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah.
You're handicapping the voters. Will enough voters care about that?
But like someone's got to step up and do something, and I don't know that any of these other guys are.
If you are, let me ask it a couple different ways. First of all, and I'll say it again, Tyler Shuck's stats are not better and maybe really not as good when you throw in running stats not even as close to as good as Jackson Dart's.
If you throw in running stats.
If you throw in running stats, not even close. Okay? Let's just say that. 2, if you are average sports, I won't say average. If you are, super big NFL fan, let's say you're a fantasy player, but you're not a bettor necessarily.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the rookie that you think about the most?
I mean, for the largest part of the season, it was Egbuka and Dart. But that has not been the case for the past 4 or 5 weeks.
But even during that period, was it that big of a thing with those guys? I just feel like Egbuka got hurt so quickly after he was a thing.
Yeah.
Dart, same deal. Let me ask it a different way. Who is the most mispriced number on this board? By the way, Tedero McMillan's minus 105, Tyler Shucks plus 120, Travion is plus 750, Egbuka leads the double digits at 10-1, Jackson Dart's 13-1. I'm not saying this guy's going to win, but
Fannin? Is that where you're going to go?
Harold Fannin Jr., by actual production, is the most wildly mispriced of these players.
I like that you asked it that way, just because just me knowing you, I was like, okay, Gil's going for something here.
If you are actually looking at numbers, how in the you-know-what is Harold Fannin Jr. 150-1, right? I'm not saying he's going to win, but he just shouldn't be anywhere near that, right? If you told me 20-1 or 25-1, sure. But I don't know. To answer your question, Brady, there is no clean hedge here because there's too many. It's not a binary thing.
I also think that you've brought it up many times before of just we're always speculating with awards, right? And these odds for these top 5 players. Do you think the winner's coming from the top 5 names on that board?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm like 99%. Yes, I think I'm
so.
99%.
Yeah.
Do I think those odds are truly reflective of what voters are thinking, though? No idea.
Who knows?
Absolutely no idea.
Chris Heath on Twitter. This is why I typically listen on headphones. My wife is now doing terrible renditions of Robin Thicke songs. You are welcome. Let's do another one. Let's do the other one on Saturday.
All right, Saturday. This one is 8 Eastern, Seahawks at 49ers.
All right, this is now for the number 1 seed in the National Football League. National Football Conference. Number 1 seed in the NFC, winner take all. And, of course, you get the NFC West crown in the process. Seattle, we just talked about, beat Carolina, held Carolina to 139 total yards and 10 first downs. And, again, Carolina could have very easily had the ball with a chance to tie it up. Last night, in case you missed it, between the Bears and the Niners. Wow. Niners first play. This is a tennis match. Niners first play. First and 10 at their own 26. Jalen Johnson steps in front of Juwan Johnson. Ball tips up in the air to T.J. Edwards. 34 yards to the house. 15 seconds in, it's 7-0 Bears. And Trent Williams, by the way, in chasing T.J. Edwards, pulls his hammy. Would not return. So it was just a horrible, every which way, injury to insult for the Niners 15 seconds in. But then 9 plays, 55 yards. Big Purdy to Tonjes, 18-yard pickup on 3rd and 7 at their own 38. The key play, 6 plays later, Purdy to Tonjes from 1 out, 7-7. Then, people won't remember this, a Bears 3 and out, a San Francisco punt, their first since November, and a Chicago 3 and out. And you're like, oh, this isn't, nothing wrong with this game. San Francisco, McCaffrey for 41 to start. Robinson Jr. for 15, Purdy for 10, 14-7 Niners. Still 4:52 left in the first quarter. Chicago, 5 plays, 77 yards. Caleb to Burden, Luther Burden from 35 out. We're tied at 14 with 2:58 left in the first. San Francisco, 9 plays, 75 yards. Purdy to Pearsall for 30, the big chunk. 7 plays later, McCaffrey in from 5, 21-14 Niners. 13:44 left in the second quarter. And Chicago, 3 plays, 65 yards. Monungai for 18. Caleb to Monungai for 11. And on a free play, Caleb to Loveland from 36 out. 21-21. San Francisco, 15 plays, 72 yards and 8:57, including a 4th and 3 conversion at the Chicago 38. Purdy to Pearsall for 14. 7 plays later, Purdy in from 3. Teach him how to Dougie. 28-21 San Francisco. That would be the score at the half. 330-154 in total yards. The Niners had 330 first half yards. They're up a touchdown. Opening sequence, opening drive, third quarter. Chicago, 10 plays, 65 yards. 5:09 off the clock. Caleb to Jade Walker for 19 on 3rd and 14 at the San Francisco 46. Followed by Caleb to Burden for 24. 3 plays later, Swift in from 2 on 3rd and goal. 28-28. 9:51 left in the third. San Francisco, 8 plays, 65 yards and 4:59. Purdy to Bourne for 25 to start. 7 plays later, Purdy to Juszczyk from 6 out. What a play where Purdy missed Juszczyk early, evaded 2 defenders, looked like he's going to run, then hits Juszczyk wide open in the end zone, 35-28. Guess what? Chicago, 9 plays, 80 yards, 4:58 off the clock. Last 2 plays, Caleb to Loveland for 9 on 4th and 5 at the San Francisco 31 to end the third quarter. Swift in from 22 to start the fourth, 35-35, 6 seconds into the fourth. First time in a regular season game in NFL history that a game has been tied at 7-7, 14-14, 21-21, 28-28, and 35-35.
That makes sense. I didn't think about it in the moment, but that makes sense.
Then, like Sing the Yeti, a San Francisco punt. Chicago then held to a Santos 29-yard field goal. They go up 38-35 with 5:22 left. San Francisco with the ball. 7 plays, 75 yards. Purdy to Juwan Jennings from 38 out. 42-38. San Francisco with 2:15 left. And the only thought for Niners fans and Niners backers at this point was, did we score too quick? Chicago from their own 35. All 3 timeouts in the 2-minute warning. They get to 2nd and 5 at the San Francisco 26. 2 timeouts left. Caleb under pressure. Misses a wide open Duvernay. If he had just hit him, he has a prairie to the end zone. There was a few of those from Caleb last night. 3rd and 6. Burden drops it. 4th and 6. Caleb to Loveland for 13. Bears use their final timeout with 26 seconds left. 1st and 10 at the San Francisco 13. Caleb throws it away. 2nd and 10 with 21 seconds left. Caleb to Loveland. Hook and lateral to Swift, but stopped at the 2. Remember, they have no timeouts. Clock runs. Spike it with 4 seconds left. 1 play for all of it. Remember, the Bears, who already clinched the NFC North with the Packers loss the previous day, still had a shot at the number 1 seed. Niners win out. They get the number 1 seed. Caleb eludes the rush. Flushed out to the left. Looking for John A. Walker in the end zone. Incomplete off his back foot. Threw it low. Ball game. Niners survive. Unbelievable football game.
That was a fun one.
And so it sets up the Seattle at San Francisco for all the marbles, including the NFC West, but for the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs. The 13-3 Seahawks, the 12-4 Niners. With that Niners defense, I don't think they could be a full 3-point favorite. I split the difference. I said Niners minus 1.5.
Yeah, you're pretty spot on. Most places 1.5. I believe DraftKings opened the Seahawks 1, but yeah, everybody in that range right now.
496 yards of offense for the Niners yesterday, but they gave up 440 of offense. You take away more from the Niners or the Bears in that game?
Oh, boy. How about this answer? Nothing from either. These are 2 teams that I expect good offensive play from, and I expect defenses to struggle. We saw an early turnover from the Bears. That's what they do on the defensive side. No surprise, but those offenses are lethal.
We got to talk about Coach of the Year on the other side. That, to me, is an interesting conversation. And more guessing lines. Looking for value Week 18. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Profit X, the number 1 sports prediction market, has some of the best future pricing you'll find on college football, national championship, and Super Bowl odds. With a huge holiday slate shaping playoff seeding, now's the perfect time to get in and take advantage of Profit X's 20% purchase match. Download Profit X today and experience the future of winning. Use promo code VSiN to get started. We get tweet speed in the book. Brad Magnus. I, unfortunately, was on the Bucks in Circa Survivor, as I had a percentage of an entry that took them. I don't like the phrasing on that. He says he's in Circa Survivor, but he had a percentage of an entry that took me out. The most frustrating part of it was why they chose. He didn't have any autonomy in this, though. Just had a percentage. He said the most frustrating part of it was why they chose a struggling Bucks team on the road instead of the Bengals at home. Yeah, Brad, I feel you, man. I feel you. It's a tough one. Jason H11, welcome back, Kelly. Who does your niece like in the college football playoff games? I'm assuming after a week with you, she's now a full-blown degenerate.
There was a couple of sweats. A couple nieces and the nephew, they all got to experience Christmas. I don't know about you, Gil. Christmas was a rough day. It was an expensive one. Christmas Day, oh yeah. Between the thunder going down, the Lions going down, it was that was an expensive Christmas.
The NBA cappers have not had a good stretch here.
Last week was rough.
Steve the Proxy. He sent this yesterday right after the end of the Bills Philly game, which we'll get to. But he says, "Can I get a check-in?" Oh, he tagged Lombardi. He said, "Can I get a check-in from Lombardi for McDummy coaching malpractice in Buffalo? Gil, why is it so hard to understand situational football in critical situations, dominating the entire second half, and decide to flip a coin with weather and Fangio versus a hobbled Josh Allen?" He's talking about the Bills' decision to go for 2. And I responded to him. I said, actually, in my opinion, a tie did the Bills no good for the AFC East race. And Allen was gimpy at that point, not to mention that an extra point had just been blocked. But for me, at the beginning of that drive, even when they were like backed up, I was like, they got to go for 2 if they score a touchdown on this drive.
I was going to be very okay with either decision there. I thought with how bad Philly's offense had played in the second half, I would have zero issues with them kicking an extra point, go to OT. I know we're going to get to this game. Obviously, we'll talk more about it. I think the biggest surprise to me was the play call, though. And the play call ended up being okay. Like, I know Josh Allen's
missed.
I know he's got a banged up foot. It's still Josh Allen. If you can run, I am running Josh Allen in that situation.
Shakir was wide open. He just missed him.
Yeah, he just missed him.
So we have a great doubleheader on Saturday then, as we just discussed, right? We have the battle for the NFC South title between the Panthers and the Bucs, and the battle for the number 1 seed in the NFC between the Seahawks and the Niners.
Great might be overselling it a little bit, but yeah, we have
as far as week 18,
an important doubleheader.
Let's put it this way. There was we were in a situation where we could have even less settled before.
Oh, I know.
So, let's take what we can get. But as I mentioned with the Niners, and by the way, with those lines, I don't think Tampa Bay should be a 3-point favorite. If anything, I'd take the Panthers. I'm not racing to bet it yet, but I lean Panthers there. But for Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel -130, Kyle Shanahan from last night's Niners last night's Niners victory 2-1. Our guy Mike McDonald 7-1. Like, our tickets aren't that much better that we got preseason on this. He's 7-1. Liam Cohen deserving 12-1. Sean Payton 30-1. Ben Johnson 60-1. Got Ben Johnson loses one game, he drops it 60-1. D'Amico 251. Canales 251. McVay 250-1. These are all worthy candidates of this thing. But can let me just make the case for Kyle Shanahan. I know you talked about it in the offseason.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan, wish I
would have bet it.
Okay. Nick Bosa, out for the year. Fred Warner, captain of the defense, out for the year. These are not rando players. These are like NFL superstars. Brock Purdy, lest we forget, missed 8 games. Shanahan made Mac Jones look like a viably good NFL quarterback.
Which I think that's actually the most important one. You won with 2 different quarterbacks.
Pearsall missed 7 games. Kittle missed 6 games. Brandon Ayuk didn't even show up. I guess what I'm saying is, and I don't have a ticket on this, I have a ticket on McDonald. I wish I had one on Shanahan.
Yeah.
I just think in a extremely splintered Coach of the Year vote, because there's going to be tons of guys getting votes. Mm-hmm. In an extremely splintered Coach of the Year vote, I wonder if those injuries, now, again, this is if they win on Saturday. Let me preface it by saying that, and they get the number 1 seed. If they don't, he probably doesn't get it. Is that stupid? It is, but it probably comes down to that. But if Shanahan and the Niners get the number 1 seed, I think in a splintered vote, that's about as sure of a handicap that there's going to be 5 or 6 of them that vote for him just on on that injury list alone. And I'm not taking anything away from Vrabel or McDonald or anybody else, but good God, it's insane what they've overcome.
It's wild. Yeah,
it's insane.
He's absolutely in the conversation. I think Vrabel's the rightful favorite right now, and if they capture 1 seed, I think it is likely him. But this is another one, Gil. Are we sure Ben Johnson's out of it after last night?
I'm not, but I'm not. I'm not sure.
He's still maybe the most impressive coaching job of the season.
Agree, because Caleb looks great. Besides, when he misses wide open receivers, but other than that, he looks great.
And if you want to sit here and argue with me about Liam Cohen until the end of the day, you got a case to make.
That's why all those names on that screen. We just went 9 deep. You can make a case for all of them.
I don't even know that I hate. I don't know that I'm going to run and do it because we do have McDonald tickets. I've got a couple. I don't hate the idea of running out and scooping Cohen, Ben Johnson. I don't think they're completely out of this.
And then Vrabel will win and you'll lose them all, kind of thing.
I mean, I just think this is one. I don't think these odds are truly reflective of how close this race is.
I would agree. That's why I think like the laundry list of, and not just injuries, massive injuries to like huge players. By the way, Trent Williams didn't even play last night right after he pulled his hamstring on the very first play. Still overcoming.
I know it's not many wins, but like Dave Canales, like I don't think he has a good quarterback. And he's about to win.
We're still trying to figure that out. Let's do one on Sunday.
All right, Sunday, early window. So 1 Eastern, every kickoff 1 Eastern or 4:25 Eastern. Then on Sunday for the two, no 4:05s. 10 Pacific time, 1 Eastern, Packers at Vikings.
All right, Vikings we already talked about after Thanksgiving. They upset the Lions. And 4 survivors got through on that. Of those 4, 1 has since survivor passed away, if you will. Brosmer was 9 of 16 for 51 in that game, sacked 7 times. Also Brosmer, same thing. 9 of 16 for 51.
Still trying to figure out how this happened.
Oh, it was historical. We put up the OptaStats. Never happened before.
Brosmer. Brosmer.
But the Lions were -6 in turnovers. They turned the ball over 6 times. That'll do it. Green Bay, for those who missed it on Saturday, Green Bay loses to Baltimore. Baltimore, 12 plays, 75 yards. Henry in from 3 on an 8-minute drive, 8 minutes, 5 seconds, 7-0 Baltimore. Then Green Bay, Willis to Dobbs for 40 after 12 men on the field in a false start. Willis to Watson from 39 out. We're tied at 7. Baltimore responds. 13 plays, 74 yards. Took half a quarter. Henry in from 1, 14-7 Ravens, early second quarter. Then, after Green Bay 4 and out, 3rd and 1 at their own 34. By the way, Willis was stuffed on 3rd and 4, and then 4th and 1, Jacobs was stuffed by Roquan. Baltimore set up at the Green Bay 34. They get a loop field goal to extend the lead to 17-7. Green Bay second play, 2nd and 3 at their own 34. Willis fumbles, recovered by Mike Green. Baltimore set up at the Green Bay 30. They get another loop field goal to make it 20-7. And then Green Bay would go 5 plays, 76 yards. Willis in from 22, 20-14 Ravens. 1:24 left in the half, but that's plenty of time in this league. Baltimore goes 7 plays, 65 yards, and 1:14. Huntley for 25, the big play, in addition to a likely 11-yard catch with an unnecessary roughness tacked on. Henry in from 3, 27-14 Ravens at the half. In the first half of that game, Green Bay ran 14 plays, and one of them was a kneel down. So really it was 13 plays, and they're down 27-14. Third quarter, Green Bay 74 yards. Willis to Reed, Jaden Reed. See what I did there? Willis to Reed. Yeah. Willis to Reed for 30. To Watson for 31 on consecutive plays. Leads to McManus, 24-yard field goal, 27-17. Next time Green Bay got the ball, 6 plays, 86 yards. Willis to Melton for 34. Willis in from 11 to close it out. 27-24 Baltimore. Green Bay may pull this off late third quarter, but it was all Baltimore from there. 12 plays, 85 yards, and 652. Henry for 30, the big chump. Huntley to Flowers from 10 out, 34-24. And then Willis aggravated his shoulder. Had to leave the game for a couple plays. Tune in. Clayton Tune, second play, 2nd and 10, the Baltimore 35. He's picked off a deflection by Marlon Humphrey. And Baltimore goes 10 plays, 58 yards. 10 plays, 68 yards to seal the deal. Henry in from 25. 41-24 Ravens. Henry with a monster game for the Baltimore Ravens. 307 total rushing yards to Baltimore as Henry goes over 200 yards yet again in his illustrious career. This is Green Bay at Minnesota. Green Bay's locked into the 7th seed, Kelly. They've got nothing to play for here. Nothing. No win, no loss, doesn't matter. They are the 7th seed. They will travel to whoever the 2 seed is for the wild card round week of the playoffs, the 9-6-1 Packers. So I don't know how they're going to play this. So I made Minnesota a no-man's land 5.5-point favorite because I figure the Packers are just going to sit everybody.
Yeah, we are. You're close. Anywhere between, there's 5.5 on the board. 5.5 and 6.5 out there.
Yeah, Packers have no incentive to do anything in this game. That's why Week 18 is the squirreliest of them all. That one at least we get. Tougher ones coming up.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on a numbers game, live from Circle Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin, everybody back in the house here at Circa. Nice to see you, sir.
Yeah, man.
Danny and Wyatt and Weilers, they were both great.
I can't remember if I said it on the air, but I appreciate them filling in as always. I'm sure they did a great job.
We get tweets at Beating the Book. Grayson Rossi and Trent Williams got hurt last night, didn't play most of the game. I mentioned that. Didn't play after the very first play. But shouldn't Ben Johnson win just on the basis the Bears made the playoffs and the Lions look lost on offense and missed the playoffs? LOL. You know what? As good a reason as any. Seriously. Brian Young, Notorious Guns. Best way to start the week listening to a numbers game with Gil and the returning Kelly Bidlin, wondering if we're going to get a Monday morning rant from Kelly, or is he still in the holiday spirit? Great show, gents. Thank you, Brian.
I'll give you a Monday morning rant for you.
Please.
I was telling this to Rob before the show. You know that commercial? We like to talk about commercials.
Yeah.
You know that commercial that they're like in whatever airport lounge and they're like all watching the game, having a beer or something. They're like the loudspeaker comes on, like your flight's been delayed an hour and a half, and everybody celebrates because they get to watch the end of the game.
Yeah.
Not as fun when you're stuck on the plane, sitting on the tarmac, waiting for like 16 flights in front of you to take off. We were Fort Lauderdale Airport. On the plane, we didn't take off for like an hour and a half. Everybody's on the plane. We're just sitting there. I watched the Texans game. Chargers-Texans, I watched 3 quarters of. On the plane before taking off. Not as fun.
It's brutal.
Not as fun as that commercial would portray if you're still at the airport.
Can we talk about that Trevor Lawrence,
Yeah.
Travis Hunter commercial? What were they thinking?
Yeah, I don't know.
I still will go back to my experience trying to see my mom in D.C. 2 years ago when they 10 hours from scheduled flight time to actual departure. You couldn't go home because they never really told you it would be a 10-hour delay, right? They just strung you along all day. We got on the plane twice and deplaned twice.
I've never had to do the deplane. That sounds terrible.
And they lied to us every which way they could.
I'd be so scared of that because I'd be the guy that if we deplaned, I'd be like, I'm out of here. I'm done. Like, I'm so tired of this. I'm just going to go find something else. I'll figure it out. And then I'd screw that up somehow. I'd be that guy.
James Fessler. Wasn't there a preseason Coach of the Year checklist for past winners? Just wondering which current ones still fit into those. For example, Niners preseason 10.5 win total may hurt Shanahan. Injury issues withstanding, of course. Yes, that came to us from Cleve TA.
Yep.
That would absolutely render Shanahan as not a candidate. Right? It's basically the parameters of who wins Coach of the Year. The issue is that laundry list of injuries and still being able to get the number 1 seed. You would think if there ever was a scenario that would trump those parameters, that might be it. But yes, we should probably get those out from Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the one where it's always Vrabel's kind of always been the cleanest fit. It's the improvement on wins over a year, and that was what we brought it up all during the offseason. We did talk about Shanahan. It was, well, it's injuries to overcome. Is that going to be a thing in a tough enough division? We knew this division was going to be tough.
It's insane. Like if you step back, it's insane what they've done. Because
it's wild.
You talk about other teams. Like I'll bring up Washington. Washington still has the most starters lost to injury this year than any other team. But Washington hasn't lost players like the Niners have, like Bosa and Warner and Purdy and all that. I guess they have with Jaden. But like, they're not good enough to overcome that. The Niners not only good enough to overcome it, they're overcoming it in the most competitive division and perhaps to get the number 1 seed. It's incredible.
All right, so here are some of those trends from Cleve TA that we did during the offseason. 20 of the last 21 winners ended the season with 10 or more wins. All 20 had 9 or more. Okay, so most of those guys.
No cancellations there.
Yeah, it's pretty much everybody on there, right? 14 of the last 15 winners came from teams with 11 or more wins, so 11 or more, 14 of the last 15. Average preseason win total of the last 24 winners is 7.7 wins. No winner in the last 17 years came into the season with a win total of greater than 9.5.
So that would knock out Shanahan.
Shanahan and McDonald right on that range.
And I believe McDonald's right on there.
And Peyton, too, right there. They were up there, right? Like 8.5, 9.5.
Yep.
Some of these you might argue with us by 1 win, sorry. 13 of the 14 winners came into the season on a team that were underdogs to make the playoffs.
Well, there you go. Again, as you said, cleanest is the Patriots and the Bears, right? Those are the cleanest. Mm-hmm. Panthers, that kind of thing. So there you go. Jaguars were cuspy in terms of playoffs. All right, let's do one more.
All right, early window, Browns at Bengals.
Browns at Bengals, 4-12 Browns, 6-10 Bengals. By the way, the Bucs I mentioned were right now are in 11th place in the NFC and have a chance to make the playoffs by winning their division. The Bengals are the equivalent 11th place team in the AFC, just to give you an idea where the Bucs are, having lost 7 of 8. Cleveland beats the Steelers. This game was of consequence yesterday. Steelers' magic number was 1, heading into the weekend. 1 Baltimore loss, 1 Pittsburgh win, and the division is theirs. Well, Baltimore beats Green Bay on Saturday, as we just talked about, and the Steelers gack it to the Browns 13-6. So there is a game coming up Sunday night for the AFC North title. We'll get to that. But as far as the details of this game, 3-0 Browns. Shador, 6 plays, 86 yards. Shador to Tillman for 42 to start. To Fannin Jr. from 28 out to end it. 10-0 Browns. 5:11 left in the first quarter. 10-3 then. Later, Cleveland first and 10, the Pittsburgh 46. Shador picked off a deflection by Jack Sawyer after a 27-yard return. Pittsburgh set up at the Cleveland 31, 4th and 1 at the Cleveland 22. Rodgers incomplete, intended for Scotty Miller. Boswell would add a 40-yarder by the end of the half. 10-6 Brownies. Then Boswell would miss a 54-yard field goal try. Cleveland 2nd and 5 at their own 49. Shador throws it up for grabs. Just terrible decision. Picked by Kyle Duggar. But Pittsburgh could do nothing with it. They punt. Pittsburgh then later from their own 20 with 2:16 left in this game. Remember, they're down 10-6. All 3 timeouts. 4th play, 4th and 10 at their own 20. Rodgers pass batted down by Shelby Harris. Cleveland with 1:58 left at the Pittsburgh 20. They settle for a Schmidt 33-yard field goal to make it 13-6 Browns with 1:40 left. Pittsburgh with no timeouts from their own 35 with 1 minute 40 seconds left. Rodgers to Miller for 15. 2 plays later to Freiermuth for 29 over the middle. To Freiermuth for 11. First and goal at the 10. Or as we like to say, first and Wishnev. He's got great theories about first and goal at the 10, which I think he's absolutely correct on. Very difficult to score. First and goal from the 10 or the 11, that kind of thing. To Thielen for 3. Second goal incomplete. Third goal incomplete. 4th and goal, Romo. This is just Romo saying they'll go for 2 if they score. No, they won't, because a tie helps the Steelers. Anyway, they don't get there because it's incomplete. Rodgers losing his mind because he thought Denzel Ward was interfering with MVS, his intended receiver. No flags. Rodgers blames refs afterwards. Steelers lose. Browns win at 13-6. And then the Bengals, in case you missed this game had no consequence to anything, but just so you know, Bengals win over the Cardinals, crushed them 37-14. I don't even know if we have to go into that game. Let's not even bother. Burrow, 24 of 31 for 305. They held Arizona 233 total yards. This was a 16-7 game. Cincinnati. The big play, a Keyshawn Williams 43-yard punt return late in the first half that set up the Bengals at the Arizona 36, and that's when they blew it open 23-7. Got to 37-7 before a garbage touchdown, 37-14. Browns at Bengals, I'll just say Bengals minus 5.5. Let's go no man's land again.
7.5 on the Bengals side for the season finale.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Have any postscripts about the Browns and the Bengals that like to share here with 1 game left in the season? Anything?
Sure.
As a eulogy?
I actually kind of do. Well, first of all, can't wait to watch that game just for Myles Garrett, right? Like potential history
Still
on the line.
Still a half sack back.
Yep. Potential history on the line there. I still think we'll probably ask Adam Burke about it again later. But like, what's in the Browns quarterback future? What are you thinking there? Every week that goes on, I'm not saying the guy's been anything special or great or anything, but Shador, what did you say during some of these meetings that just no team wanted any part of you? Because he's still better than Dylan Gabriel to me, and it's not really all that close.
Agree.
Like, I mean, obviously we heard the reports, so I would really love to know what he said. And then what's the future of the Bengals and all their stars, right? And Joe Burrow, and they're rolling out everybody in this game and just to try to finish the season on a high note, I guess.
Here's where the draft stands. The draft order stands with 1 game left in the regular season. The Las Vegas Raiders are in the number 1 position after they lose to the Giants yesterday. Lose badly, by the way.
Yeah, they earned it.
If they lose week 18, the number 1 pick is theirs. If they win, there might be trouble. But if they lose, it's theirs. Giants are 2nd. Jets 3rd. This is current draft order. Vegas 1, Giants 2nd, Jets 3rd. Tennessee 4. Arizona, who's lost to 8 in a row, by the way, 5th. The aforementioned Browns are 6th. Washington 7, New Orleans 8, Kansas City 9, and the aforementioned Bengals 10. By the way, the Rams right now would have the 11th by way of Atlanta in the James Pierce trade. So there you go. There's your top 10 bottomers with 1 week left in the season. All right. Still looking for value. So far, just a lean towards Carolina. It's the whole point of this exercise again, trying to extract value. Last week for me, mixed results. San Francisco, good. Not so good on the others, by the way. Shouldn't say mixed. More bad than good. Coming back on a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Numbers told the story. They always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in
On VSiN.
Hour number 2 of a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, Radio, YouTube TV, and of course, Sirius XM Channel 58. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin, Kelly Badalan in the house. On this, Monday morning, guessing lines for Week 18 in the NFL. Looking for value. Squirreliest week there is. Talking awards, playoff situation, that kind of thing. We get tweet speed in the book, 3JackH3131. Happy New Year's. Too soon, he says. And welcome back, Kelly. If I had a vote, it would have to go to Ben Johnson. Remember, Caleb Williams was deemed as, quote, nothing special, unquote. Also, so many hook and ladder plays yesterday. Yes. I think it was Buddhist Man on Twitter said this. Also goes, it's like everybody all decided to watch the Boise State 2007. Was that the Fiesta Bowl? Can't remember which bowl it was.
You've had Ben Johnson and a couple guys at least showing it off this year that you can do this fairly regularly.
But here's the thing. The hook and lateral never fails unless we had in the one game where they missed the flip. Mm-hmm. But like the defense can't stop it. Mm-hmm. There's no defense for it. Although the Bears, with no timeouts left in the clock running, that was a little iffy to do it that way.
Wait, which game did we see it get stopped on, though, or slowed down?
I can't remember.
It was the Bills game, right?
We'll get to it. It's in there somewhere, yeah.
That was good defense. That was pretty good defense on that one.
No, it wasn't. They just missed the flip.
No, there was one there where they did it. How many times did we see it yesterday? 3?
At least 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might be forgetting the third then.
Also adding to 3Jack about Caleb, 3Jack H3131 about Caleb is Jason McKinney, who says, I know you have mentioned that Ben Johnson's still in the hunt. Shouldn't he be a shorter shot considering his quarterback, quote unquote, isn't special? Maybe more hook and ladders will help. It's like these two guys are the same tweets.
What was it was like Sex Panther from Anchorman. 60% of the time it works every time.
Sex Panther. Listen, man, that's Merrill Hodge is who you're quoting, not me. I like how that gets morphed into me. Merrill Hodge said he's nothing special, Caleb Williams. He's been pretty special this year. Again, is he perfect? No. He misses a lot. There's still a lot of whirling dervish. There's still a lot of missed open receivers, as we saw last night. There is that. But, man, what a giant leap from last year.
Yep.
My guy's in the desert. Does Kansas City want to win and give division opponent number 1 pick and hurt their draft position? Well, we haven't gotten to the Chiefs game yet. I think my guy's in the desert, Scotty B, I think we overrate that kind of stuff, right? Like as fans and as bettors, I think we read into a lot of stuff. Forget even draft position. I even think with seeding, right? Again, to get the number 1 seed in and out of playoffs obviously matters. I think there are some seeds that matters, particularly the 5 seed matters because you get to play a really relatively worse number 4 division winner, right? Number 4 seed who wins the division. But all the other stuff, like the difference between 2 and 3 and 6 and 7, even that I think we overrate oftentimes. So for affecting other people's draft positions, I don't think any of these players give a you-know-what about draft order.
I
really don't.
It's an interesting point to bring up. I think it's fair because it is something that is very much in their hands,
but
right?
That has to happen at the front office level where the Raiders are like, hey, Brock Bowers, hey, Max Crosby, you guys are going to sit the rest of these games out. Yeah. The players on the field, they don't care.
You catch like the Crosby shooting shooting hoops and
full
stuff.
video of him doing
great. That's awesome. But I get the tweet. The thing is, I think if you're the Chiefs, you're sorry, Raiders. They ain't scared of the Raiders. You're scared of what the Broncos and Chargers look like for the next 5 years.
Yeah. Bobby Geddes, good morning, gentlemen. Kelly, hope you had a great vacation. I had the pleasure of hanging out with Todd Wishnev, his natural habitat over the weekend. It was awesome. And he's not lying about being the loudest one at the sports book. There he is. Wishnev in full effect over there at Rivers. All right, next.
All right, early window, Colts at Texans.
Colts, I guess you guys had the Phillip Rivers comeback player of the year tickets. I guess we don't have to talk about that anymore. We're good?
Yeah.
8-8 Colts. At the Houston, by the way, Colts were eliminated on Saturday when the Texans won, when they beat the Chargers. At Houston, 11-5 Texans. Colts, in case you missed it, against Jacksonville yesterday, they were up 3-0. Jacksonville matriculated the ball down the field. First and 10 at the Indianapolis 17, Trevor to Myers. Oh, that was the hook and lateral. He goes to Jacoby Myers, who flips it, tries to flip it, fumbles it. Samson Ebukam recovers it. So that was the hook and lateral that didn't work because they fumbled the flip. The lateral part, if you will. Indianapolis, then 15 plays, 83 yards. JT in from 3. That's Jonathan Taylor. 10-0 Colts, early second quarter, lest we forget. But then Jacksonville, 12 plays, 69 yards. Trevor in from 4. Nifty run. Scott Hansen loves the word nifty, so I thought I'd throw it in there. 10-7 Colts, 5:38 left in the second quarter. And then later in the half, Jacksonville from their own 40, 2nd and 3 at the Indianapolis 16. Trevor picked in the end zone by Jermaine Pratt. So the Colts lead at the half by 4. Second time Jacksonville gets the ball in the third quarter. 8 plays, 81 yards. Trevor to Parker Washington. What a season he's having. For 37, the big play. Next play, Trevor in from 6, 14-10 Jaguars. Halfway through the third. Colts, after a Ashton Dulin 55-yard kickoff return. He's been awesome. 39 yards. Big Downs, 39 yards. I don't know what that meant. Big Downs, 18-yard toe tap catch on the drive on 3rd and 10, the Jacksonville 39. There's the 39. Then a PI goal to go. Rivers to Allie Cox from 5 out. 17-14 Colts. 5:58 left third quarter. Then it will be 17-17 after a little field goal. Jacksonville will then matriculate. They get it to 4th and 1 at the Colts 24. Trevor stuffed. So Indianapolis in a tie game. Third play. 3rd and 3 at their own 31. Rivers picked by Jerrion Jones. Jacksonville set up at the Indianapolis 21, but they're held to a field goal, little 42-yard field goal, 20-17 Jaguars with 6:58 left. So Indianapolis had the ball back down 3. They get it to 4th and 11 at their own 49 with 3:11 left. Would you have gone for it here? They decided to go for it. 4th and 11 at their own 49 down 3. Anyway, Rivers incomplete, intended for Pierce. Not a good pass at all from Rivers, by the way. Or as Hansen referred to him, Philly Rivs.
I hate to say it, but it's because of Rivers, right? It's because of Rivers and lack of production in the offense in general. I'm not going for it there.
Jacksonville then from the Indianapolis 48 with 3:06 left. Indianapolis has all 3 timeouts in the 2-minute warning. They convert. Jacksonville does 4th and 1 at the Indianapolis 39 at the 2-minute warning. Trevor for 3. They get a little 53-yard field goal. Cam Little 53-yard field goal. 23-17 Jacksonville with 18 seconds left. Indianapolis 2 plays. They get it to the Jacksonville 48 with 4 seconds left. They pull Rivers because he doesn't have the arm to get it to the end zone. They bring in Riley Leonard. He gets picked in the end zone by Antonio Johnson. Ball game. That's where the Colts are now.
I was rooting hard for him, Gil. I got those, I don't know anybody else like me, but those Texans preseason division tickets that about 3 weeks in looked like the dumbest things on the planet were all of a sudden all back from the dead.
Is Philly Rivs even going to play in the last game?
I don't know. I was hearing some of that yesterday, too.
It's not even going to be a 4-game thing. It's going to be a 3-game thing in the end.
You know what's real sad is I'd probably let him, depending on how much respect they have for Phillip Rivers, I'd say you make the call. We picked you up off the street. We asked you to come in here, asked you to do a job. You did it. You want to play or not?
Houston, for those who missed it on Saturday, beat the Chargers. And really, this game was kind of decided very quickly. First 2 drives. Houston, 3 plays, 84 yards. Third play, 3rd and 1 at their own 25. Stroud to Jaden Higgins for 75 yards. Wide open behind the defense. 7-0 Texans, a minute and 40 into the game. Then after a Chargers 3 and out, Houston 4 plays, 72 yards. Stroud to Jalen Noel from 43 out. 14-0 Texans, less than 6 minutes into the game. And that really was what the Chargers were chasing the rest of the day pretty much. Later, Houston 3rd play, 3rd and 5 at their own 41. Stroud picked by Derwin James after Deshaun Hand tipped it at the line of scrimmage. Chargers set up at the Houston 37, had to settle for a Dicker 27-yard field goal. 14-3 Texans, 6:10 left in the second. Then the Chargers 3rd and 13 at their own 26. Herbert to Johnson for 60 to the Houston 14. But the next play, Herbert to Gadsden, bounced off his hands, picked by Azeez Al-Shaair at the 1. And then Houston made a real mess of the end of the second quarter, but Chargers couldn't do anything with it. Houston got to 1st and 10 at their own 22 with 52 seconds left. LA only had 2 timeouts, so Houston basically controlled the clock. But they throw an incomplete pass on 1st down, which stopped the clock. So then the Chargers controlled the clock. And in 2nd and 10, Stroud was picked by Elijah Molden anyway. So the Chargers had the ball at the Houston 32 with 45 seconds left, helped along by a tripping call on Danico Autry. Dicker, 32-yard field goal try, wide right. What? That's the first missed field goal under 40 yards in his career.
Wild.
He fell. This is only his fourth miss under 50, including the playoffs. That dropped his career record under 50 yards to 111-4. 111 for 115. What the heck was that? And then it got worse. J.K. Scott, 22-yard punt at some point in the third quarter. Houston set up at the Chargers 47. Fairbairn, 41-yard field goal to make it 17-3 Houston with 6:04 left in the third. And then the Chargers would respond. 11 plays, 64 yards. Herbert to Gadsden from one out, 17-10. Key play, Herbert for 28 yards rushing on 3rd and 14 at the Houston 44. Then Houston punts instead of, what does it say? Oh, they have to punt instead of a 3-and-out. They were going to punt after a 3-and-out when the Chargers were flagged for playing football. Did you see that? When body weight on Stroud would have been a 3-and-out, but instead the drive extended. But anyway, the LA would eventually get pinned at their own 2 after a punt. Houston from their own 45 after the Chargers went 3-and-out. Fairbairn 44-yard field goal to extend the lead to 20-10. Chargers then from their own 25 to McConkey for 31. There's a Lad McConkey sighting. Extended later by an illegal contact on To'oto'o versus McConkey. Then holding in the end zone, Hampton in from 1, 20-16. Dicker wide left on an extra point. What's going on? 3:27 left. Houston then after Chargers used all its timeouts, 3rd and 9 at their own 46. Stroud sacked, but an illegal contact on Tarheeb still of the Chargers essentially seals it. Did you agree with that call? This is exactly like the Amon-Ra St. Brown one against Jalen Ramsey the previous week.
I didn't hate it.
Where St. Brown runs right into Ramsey, but he did it so egregiously that they called it on the offense. Mm-hmm. This was basically the same thing, but not quite as egregiously, so they call it on the defense for grabbing.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough.
Houston by 8.5 over Indianapolis, between the 7 and 10.
10.5.
Oh, even more. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Coming back.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Unmatched transparency with records updated daily, AI betting analysis, real-time global betting information, and alerts directly from the pros. We invite you to check out the Sharp Plays. You can scan that QR code for more. SharpPlays.com, not the Sharp Plays, just SharpPlays.com. Gil Alexander, we get tweets beating the book Marco Polo at Bobby Plump 31. He says the Jags fumbled on the hook and ladder in the red zone. He says Etienne missed the toss. Etienne was the guy from Jacoby Myers who missed the toss. I missed the license plate on who that was. Was that in the red zone? Didn't I say that was in the... Where did I say it was? Yeah, 1st and 10 at the Indianapolis 17, I said. Yeah, I got it correct. Scuba Scott, if the Lions can manage to lose this Sunday, they will lock in a 4th-place finish in a division. Looking at their schedule next year with other potential 4th-place finishers as well as their own soft schedule, should be a top 5 big game pick for next year. Well, okay, let's easy. I understand your point. You're right. 4th-place schedules. We forget, right, how much they dictate. We talked about it before the season started. The Niners, oh my God, it's such an easy schedule, right? Patriots, such an easy schedule. Let's ease it with the big game. Until the Lions have been there once, let's not make them a top 5 favorite for them.
Is it something I noticed as well and thought about and kind of made a quick note? Yes, I did. Lions over on their win total. Yeah, I'm back in. I'm not selling.
But that'll be
yet.
But that'll be built in.
It will be built in. Yeah.
John Massey, forget draft picks. Look how schedules broke for the 49ers and Patriots by finishing 4th in division. My feelings exactly, John.
It is wild. It is wild. I know I've brought this up multiple times, but it is wild how many teams we are so wrong about in the NFL every year, right? They're just this is a league of parity. Surprises happen every season. But the Niners, all offseason, all we said was like, oh, they're going to deal with a lot of injuries. Even then they were injured, right? They're like, but the schedule is so soft that this could play out rather nicely for them.
The Niners as a franchise, like how many years have they truly ever sucked? Since Montana, through Young, through Garcia, through all the years till now. It's an amazing franchise. They rarely have sucked. Like, do they ever have a downtime? It's like the Warriors, right? When was the crater? I guess there was a little crater for the Warriors.
I mean, I would say the big difference there, though, is having a Steph Curry to constantly rely on.
Right. Here it's not. Yeah. I mean, again, Brock Purdy was mystery relevant.
Yeah, right. Yeah, man.
Yesterday was the number one pick in the draft versus mystery relevant, that game last night. Not the same year, but you get the idea. Jen O'Connor, Sure is odd that guy was hanging out with Todd in the attic at his mother's house. Wedding Crashers vibes. So, yeah, that truly is his natural habitat. Jason McKinney, it was a surprise to hear Kelly this morning. Thought it was going to be a 2-week vacation for him. Also, thank you for always teaching. Over 50, and I learned it's called the hook and lateral, not ladder, LOL. Yeah, it's hook and lateral is really what it's called. We've morphed it into hook and ladder. Jay Garb, hey, Gil, love the show. Coming to Vegas in 2 weeks. Restaurant recommendations? I'm going to go off-strip Esther's downtown. It's always my go-to.
What type of food? What's your price point? Where you're staying at? It's all important.
So much to know.
There's so many great restaurants. You really have to start with that. I need more details.
It's phenomenal. By the way, about the Texans, because we left off with the Texans. So the Texans' playoff story is this: they need to win that game against the Colts. They need the Jags to lose for the Texans to win the AFC South.
Yeah, let's go Texans.
And remember, the Texans' win last week officially eliminated the Colts, who they're playing this week. They own the tiebreakers. The Texans, by the way, in terms of seeding, own the tiebreakers over the Chargers and the Bills currently with the 5th seed. And remember, the 5th seed is coveted in both conferences. I would argue more so in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
But the 5th seed, there's no shame in getting that because you will be on the road at Pittsburgh or at Baltimore. I think at Pittsburgh sounds a lot nicer right now than at Baltimore might to some. So there is, as opposed to going to at Jacksonville or at the Patriots, right, as currently seated. The NFC's where this is really a stark thing, right? You get to go at Tampa or at Carolina with the 5th seed, as opposed to at Philly or at, at Chicago and cold, right? So I do think in the NFC that 5th seed is pretty coveted. If you're not going to get a home game, you definitely want the 5 over the 6 and 7.
Completely agree with you on the NFC. I guess now that I'm thinking of the AFC,
doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Okay, do you think, I don't know, are NFL head coaches out there thinking, I would rather go to Pittsburgh in a playoff game than Jacksonville?
I don't know.
I think the Jaguars are that much better of a team, and you wouldn't want to go
based on weather and environment.
Yes,
I don't know.
I'm just saying, how much does that matter to some of these guys? I don't know.
Next.
All right, next up, we have the Cowboys at the Giants.
Cowboys at Giants, 7-8-1 Cowboys. We talked about them. They beat Washington on Christmas. 480 total yards for the Cowboys that day. 87 plays they ran against Washington. 38 minutes and 44 seconds in time of possession. Dak threw for 307. Giants, in the Bizarro Super Bowl yesterday here at Allegiant Stadium, they crushed the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't want to be prisoner of the moment, but I'm going to be for a second. This Raiders outfit, to use Chrissy Andrews, my mishpucha's word, this Raiders outfit is one of the worst teams I've ever laid eyes on.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I know they had no Crosby, no Bowers yesterday. Vegas, second drive from their own 24, 2nd and 7 at the Giants' 12. Geno picked by Okereke. He returns at 47 yards. Giants from the Las Vegas 44, 5 plays, Singletary for 29. Then in from 1 to close it out. 7-0 Giants end of the first quarter. 7-3 Giants, 8 plays, 65 yards. Dart in from 12, 14-3 Giants. 17-3 Giants at the half. Then 20-3. Las Vegas would convert 2 fourths along the way on a 14-play, 65-yard drive. Geno to lock it from 4 out, 20-10. Closing seconds of the third quarter, but the Giants would take the ensuing kickoff 95 yards to the house. Deonte Banks. And that was really all she wrote at that point. 27-10 Giants with 18 seconds left in the third. Las Vegas will get to 3rd and 6 of the Giants' 41. Geno picked by Dane Melton, and Geno knocked out of the game at that point. Injury to insult. And the Giants would add one more score. 15 plays, 75 yards, 8:49 off the clock. Dart in from 2 on 4th and 1. 34-10 Gigantes. Crushing the Raiders. And again, the Raiders have the number 1 pick on their racket if they lose this coming week. Dallas at the Giants is what we're talking about here, though. I'll say Dallas minus 4.5 on the road.
They are 5.5. Across the board, actually.
Sure. Next.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever.
Saints at Falcons early window.
6-10 Saints, 6-9 Falcons. Remember, the Falcons played tonight against the Rams. It took a little money, right? Aren't they like a 7-point dog?
Yes,
now?
they did. Yes,
this
has come down a little bit. There are, It is 7, mainly 7.5, but you're getting 7.5 even money on the Rams.
Drake London looked like he might be a go for the Falcons tonight. You have any play on tonight's game?
I do. I have the Rams in a teaser that I had with the Texans from Saturday.
Okay.
So close out a teaser. I think it's still a good teaser leg, but that's because I believe that these teams should care about that 5 seed. I guess it depends on what you think at home.
Again, with the NFC South title. Tampa Bay versus Carolina on Saturday at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, I don't think should be a 3-point favorite. Kelly tells me they are. I think it should be less. I guess 2.5. But either way, there is a way that the Falcons matter here. If the Panthers win, they are the NFC South title holders, and they're going to the playoffs as the 4 seed. But if the Buccaneers win, they're in unless the Falcons win their last 2 games, including tonight's. And including this one, hosting the Saints. In case you missed it, Tyler Shuck people want to hear this because they get all tingly when they hear about good Tyler Shuck things. Tennessee up 6-0 in this game yesterday against the Saints. Then they go 7 plays, 64 yards, 4th and 2 at the New Orleans 43. Ward to a wide open Chigakonkwo, who spun through tackles to score. Great yak on that play. 13-0 Titans early second quarter. Then Charlie Smith from Ireland, 56-yard field goal, 13-3 Tennessee. Then the play of the game, Tennessee first 20 at their own 44. Ward sacked and stripped by Chase Young. Chase Young sighting, everybody.
What a play.
Remember the number 2 pick in the draft with the Skins? 33 yards to the house. DeMatha High School's Chase Young. 33 yards to the house. 13-10 Tennessee. 3:51 left in the second quarter. By the way, I was amazed that Ward wasn't on the ground for that he wasn't down by contact. That was incredible. Tennessee then 3rd and 14 at their own 43. Huge PI for 50 yards. 2 plays later, Ward to Elik Ayumanor, however you pronounce that, from 7 out, 20-10 Titans at the half. But then it was all Shuck in the second half. Third quarter, 9 plays, 74 yards, Shuck to Olave from 19 out, cut the lead to 20-17. Then they would trade field goals, 26-20 Tennessee, 2 field goals for Tennessee, 1 for the Saints. 26-20 Tennessee, fourth quarter, Shuck to Juwan Johnson for 39, but next play, 1st and 10 to Tennessee, 35. Shuck to Pettis for 32, hit by Keemon Hall at the 3, fumbles, recovered by Khair Siam. So it's still a 3-point game, but then the next time New Orleans got the ball, no matter. 4 plays, 80 yards, Shuck to Olave for 60. 2 plays later, Shuck to Austin Jr. from 10 out, 27-26 Saints. And the next time the Saints would get the ball, 1 for good measure. 4 plays, 54 yards, Audric Estime in from 32. 34-26 Saints, a big come-from-behind win in a meaningless game over Tennessee. But they roared back. I'll say Atlanta, sight unseen tonight, -4.5, hosting the Saints.
Atlanta, 2.5.
Wow. Really? Okay. We love the Saints that much, do we? Mark it?
Yeah, we are. I might be looking at the Saints for a teaser leg.
Okay.
Not rushing, though.
I mean, I would lean Atlanta, but again, not one of these where I'm racing to bet it. So far, Carolina's the only one I really like to any degree.
I made 2 bets. We haven't gotten to them yet.
All right. Carolina might be in my account by the next break. Coming back on a numbers game at VSiN.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
We were here Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We're going to be here New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. We'll have full regular programming both days, starting with VSiN by the Books with Jensen and Dave, or Dave and Jensen, however you prefer, 7 a.m. And then rolling through a numbers game. Kelly and I will be here. Prop points, money moves, follow the money, VSiN primetime, and cashing out deep into the night. Shouldn't like Dustin be out like CNN style, like Anderson Cooper is with Andy Cohen? Shouldn't he be out there on the scene?
Yeah. We really should.
Outside. Absolutely. As you're counting down to 2026 and kicking off the new year, VSiN will be right there with real-time betting coverage across the CFP, NFL, NBA, and more. Spend your new year with VSiN, the nonstop home for sports bettors. We get tweets beating the book. John Massey.
I am down to co-host that show with Dustin. If I can get me a Reuben Circa that night so I can show up for our show the next morning, I would love to do that.
You guys randomly like talking about offensive rookie of the year in between.
Problem is it's his show, but I want him to be the roving reporter outside. I'm like, now we toss it out to Dustin. What's it look like out there? John
Massey, Dennis. Oh, talking about the Niners. If the Niners ever had a downturn, yeah. Dennis Erickson, Mike Nolan, Mike Singletary. Oh yeah, Mike Singletary. Days were bad. Then Harbaugh changed their fortunes. Yeah, but think about that though, John. You're right. You're right about that. But in a what are we talking about? We're talking about 40 years of football. More, right? 45 years of football. We have to think hard about it. Just a few years of bad. Uncle Bush, has anyone done the legwork on the Steelers record? The game after? Tomlin secures another winning record season. Could we have missed a 20-year-long letdown spot? I did think about that yesterday. I was like, oh, he got his 9th win. He got his record. Now they're just going to stink. I do think there is a contingent of Steelers fans, they will correct me if I'm wrong, that are like, yeah, we've seen this act too many times before. Great, he has another winning record. They don't care about this record of theirs. They're so spoiled by this, right? But at the same time, I understand their point. They don't get much farther.
Hey man, if you're like that as a fan, good on you, right? Like it is. I think it's easy to say things like that when you haven't had to suffer through a bunch of bad football seasons.
Trust me, it is easy for them to say that.
But,
yes.
But if your mind can truly think,
they got a lot of nerve.
Hey, let's either be bad or really good.
Yes.
We don't want to be in between. Good on you, but
you're right. On the one hand, it takes a lot of nerve. On the other hand, it's pretty forward thinking. And 3, Jack, hook and lateral sounds lame. Hook and ladder sounds cooler. Plus, it always reminds me of the scene in Varsity Blues when Paul Walker makes that play call.
Double totes. Yes.
Gil, out of curiosity, how long does it take for you to make notes for each game? Duration of the game. And then,
I never really asked Gil this. I'm assuming he's just jotting stuff down as he goes.
I'm jotting it as I go. And then I note things with the announcers and play calls and that kind of stuff. Jesse Welch. Thank God for Gil clarifying that those little field goals were kicked by Cam Little and were not just field goals that were short in stature. Because it was 53-yard, and I had written little 53-yard field goal. I'm like, I should probably mention it's Cam Little.
I did have quite a grin on my face the first couple times. I was going to get to it if you didn't get to it, but it was like little field goal here.
I had a similar problem with whenever Matt Gay kicked a field goal, and I wanted to point out that it was a Matt Gay field goal because in my notes I had it written in a very strange way.
Sure. This could be either problematic or cool with last names.
Not that there's anything
like if
wrong
someone's name was Awesome, be like, that was an awesome field goal.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Next up, Sunday, early window still, Saints at Falcons.
So all these so far concurrent early besides the first two we did. Which game was this?
Saints at Falcons?
Titans
at Jaguars.
We just did that, yeah. Titans at Jags. By the way, Danny Higgins, who was just in our ear, points out that with a hook and lateral, sorry guys.
Former pro quarterback.
I say it never fails unless you fumble the flip, right? He goes, it has to be zone coverage, though.
Yeah, be zone or off coverage, yeah. Because the problem is how much of these guys are crossing over, right?
Yeah.
If there's a man on covering either side, it could be a disaster almost every time. It makes sense.
Never seems to happen, though.
Well, you can do, as Danny pointed out too, you do the quick pre-snap, move a guy in motion, see if anybody comes with him, right?
Duriel Harris, Tony Nathan. That's all we need to know. The greatest game ever between the Dolphins and the Chargers. Was that Duriel Harris and Tony Nathan, or was it Nat Moore and Tony Nathan? I think it was Duriel.
No idea. I'd have to look it up.
Tennessee at Jacksonville, you said?
Yes.
Tennessee, as we noted, lost to the Saints. What's that?
So let's go Titans. Sorry, I got Texans division futures, okay, that are back from the dead somehow.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Tennessee, Cam Ward in defeat 21-40 for 251. What do we think about Cam Ward's season, by the way?
Meh.
Okay. Jacksonville 12-4. Tennessee 3-13. Jacksonville 12-4. So here's the deal with Jacksonville. They've won 8 in a row now. They won 7 in a row now. But they need one more to lock up the division. So think about this. When Houston beat Jacksonville, that was Houston's first of 8 straight. Since then,
that's crazy.
Houston has been 1 game behind Jacksonville for 7 weeks in a row. Houston has not lost since. So 8 in a row for Houston. Those final 7, they have still been 1 game behind Jacksonville because Jacksonville's won 7 in a row.
And you had several of those weeks where the Colts were on top of both of them.
That's right.
Right to start with.
That's right. So for Jacksonville, a victory combined with defeats for Denver and New England will still get Jacksonville the number 1 seed. They can still do this. Again, Broncos and Patriots both lose, however improbable. Jaguars win. Jaguars will get the number 1 seed in Duval County. I think I'm supposed to say that. Lose, and Houston can keep the AFC South title with a win. Keep because they won it the last couple years. Trevor Lawrence, 23 of 37 for 263 yesterday. They held Indianapolis to 204 total yards. And by the way, when Houston won, Indianapolis was eliminated. That's a rando fact. Jacksonville minus 13.5 hosting Tennessee, right? It's got to be like almost 2 touchdowns.
It is. Hey, this is the first one you're too heavy on.
Oh.
11.5 to 12.5 out there.
Okay. Sure. Next.
Throw it in a 10-point teaser. I might be doing that, actually. A couple of those this week. All right. Next up, we are on to the late window now.
There we go.
4:25 Eastern, Chargers at Broncos.
All right. Denver clinched the AFC West when the Chargers lost on Saturday. Justin Herbert threw for 236 yards in defeat. And as I mentioned, Cam Dicker, first missed field goal under 40 yards in his career, fourth missed field goal under 50, including the playoffs. 111 for 115. He drops to that under 50 yards.
Yeah, Gil and I are both big fans. We're fans of it. Dicker fan club
And
here.
he missed an extra point, which dropped him to 129 for 134. What happened?
He does not get enough love, and his quarterback gets too much love.
There it is. I knew it was coming. Denver clinched the AFC West, as I mentioned. Bo Nix, 26 for 38 for 182 the other day against Kansas City. So Denver wins. They're the number one seed, and they win a tiebreaker with the Patriots, again, based on common opponents. What is the game that ends up being the clincher for the Broncos in a tie with the Patriots? Week 1 Patriots lost to the Raiders. That's the difference between the 1 seed and the 2 seed if they end up tied. I'm going to say Denver minus. Here's the thing with the Chargers. So the Chargers are one of these teams. This is what makes Week 18 tough.
Correct.
The Chargers are one of these teams where they've clinched a playoff berth. They can't get a home game. They're going to be 5, 6, or 7. They lose the tiebreakers and are unlikely to get the 5th, right? Because the Texans, we just mentioned, the Texans are hosting. Who are the Texans hosting again that we mentioned earlier? The Indianapolis Colts. So they're going to be big favorites. So the Chargers may make the assessment here. Well, yeah, the 5 seed would be nice, but how likely is it really? What do we really want to try for here? Do we really want to play anybody against the Broncos? I don't know how they're going to play it.
Yeah.
I don't know what Harbaugh's philosophy is. They've had enough injuries this year already. Maybe they don't want to take any chances. So I just made the Broncos.
I think this is one where it's kind of like an NBA game.
You got to figure out during the week what this really ought to be.
Yeah, if you've got a strong feeling here, fine, write it down and just have those news alerts on your phone ready.
Right. I just put Broncos minus 7, but it's strictly a placeholder.
Yeah, 7.5 to 8 out there right now, the Broncos.
Next.
I think that's a good guess by you because, yes, we do not know how Chargers are going to approach that. All right, Chiefs at Raiders.
Oh, boy. 6-10 Raiders, 2-14. 6-10 Chiefs, pardon me. 2-14 Raiders. Again, Raiders lose. They have the number 1 pick in the draft. Kansas City had a grand total of 139 total yards against the Broncos the other day. Oladokin threw for 66. Not quite Brosmer, but you get the idea. I'll just say
at least I've seen him have a couple good plays in the preseason.
That's right. Kansas City minus 5.5. I don't know.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
Look at you. 5.5. 1 5 out there. All 5.5s. Next up, we have Commanders at Eagles.
Commodores, lost season, 4-12. Josh Johnson will be their quarterback.
That's funny. Still.
Yeah. 4-12. And the Eagles are 11-5. So the Eagles could still reach the number 2 seed. They have a ceiling of the number 2 seed. Remember, they won the Super Bowl from the 2 seed position last year. Because remember, the Lions were the 1 seed, and then Jaden Daniels and the DC Skins went in there and dropped 45 on their faces. Sorry, just had to get aggressive for a second. Eagles by 7, I don't know.
Eagles, anywhere from 7.5 to 9-point favorites out there right now.
Who knows?
As I told Danny before the show, I don't know how we're here with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Because the Eagles are either 2 or 3, right? That's their whole scope. They're either the 2 seed or the 3 seed. Do they really care? Maybe they do.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's tough with teams like the Eagles. It's tough with teams like the Chargers. Because you just don't know. How much does seeding matter to them when you can't get to 1 and you can't drop out? Coming back on a numbers game right here at VSiN.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on a numbers game live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. Gil Alexander, Kelly Midland. Everybody.
On the big screen, man. I could see it.
Yo, we're on the big screen back there? Yeah. They decided to put us in there?
Oh, no, they're switching up the rotations.
They've had enough.
As soon as I said it.
They've had enough of us. We get tweets beating the book. This is from Go Padres. Wow. Pitchers and catchers in 6 weeks, everybody.
This just in: the Padres still a game and a half back of the Dodgers in that NL West race.
If they played 324 games, they still would be a game and a half beyond the Padres.
Is it weird? That's going to be the thing that sticks with me the most from this last baseball season. It's just every time we check in on that division race, you're like, "There's the Padres, 2 games back."
I must have said it like 5 different times. How are the Padres not up 3 games by now, or 4 games? Go Padres! Andrew Stang, 67, said, "I had a bowl game on the radio as I was driving. I heard them say, and now it's 7-0 after that hell of an extra point. I drove the next 5 minutes trying to think about what could have happened. I later found out that the game was sponsored by Hell of a Dips." Oh,
that's good.
Interesting.
That's good.
Grayson Rossi has Houston division futures, of course. Oh, he says Kelly has Houston division futures. Of course, he had no problem with that illegal contact call on the Chargers at the end of the game. Betting truth serum always tells the tale. Ha ha.
Sir.
To use my phrase, betting truth serum.
That is, we talked about the Niners season, like just how like it's amazing that we could even telegraph that. Think about that. If you're a Texans division ticket holder like myself, 3 weeks into the season, 4 weeks, you're like, that's the dumbest bet I'm going to make all year. Like that's dead. There's no way. And now it's back.
8 in a row,
having a chance.
8. I mean, that's the Padres Dodgers thing though, but in a good way. Where the Padres could never get it together to overcome the Dodgers. How about the fact, again, 7 straight weeks. Again,
wild.
Houston has won 8 in a row. Jacksonville's won 7 in a row. They cannot catch them. But I will say this again, because I don't think I made enough of it, but that is one of the toughest calls, and it is not called consistently because it is impossible to officiate, which again, Amon-Ra St. Brown runs aggressively into Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey's not even looking at Amon-Ra St. Brown. There's big contact, so they call it on the defense. Excuse me, I'm sorry, they call it on the offense because it was such an aggressive move by the offense. But in the case of the Chargers-Texans one, it was just he runs into the defender, and it's almost your natural reaction for a guy. You're not going to take a charge. It's football. You can't fall down.
That's what was so crazy about the Ramsey play.
So you almost have to like grab him almost.
Yeah.
And they call it on, they call it on the defense.
I thought that was a genius play by Ramsey on that. Like, Amon-Ra St. Brown did nothing more aggressive than what you see most wide receivers do running that route, right? It's just that when you don't see the defender push back at all, like, okay, that's what's going to happen.
Tarheeb Still of the Chargers called for the flag. That ended that one. Next.
4:25 Eastern, Jets at Bills.
Oh, here's a couple games we haven't gotten to. Jets, Patriots, I mean, there's not much to say here. Let's just do the first half, and that's all we need to do. Patriots, 7 plays, 61 yards, made a hooper from 2 outs, 7-0 Pats. Next time they had the ball, 7 plays, 85 yards, made to Efton Chisholm III. Kelly, you ever go to the country club with Efton Chisholm III?
What if he's playing in the Century?
For 30, the big chunk, 3 plays later, and a PI later. Ramondre in from 114-0. Then Jets, 3rd play, 3rd and 6 of their own 40. Cook picked deep by Jalen Hawkins. New England goes 66 yards, made to Diggs for 31 to start, made to Ramondre from 22 out to end at 21-0, early seconds of the second quarter. Then 21-3, Patriots go 74 yards, made to Diggs for 21 to start, made 11-yard run on 4th and 3 at the Jets 20 along the way, made to Diggs into the end zone on 4th and goal at the 3, 28-3, and then the next time the Patriots got the ball, 91 yards, made to Henry from 13 out, 35-3 Pats at the half. They would win it by the final of 42-10.
The Patriots.
Drake May, 19 of 21 with 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's just taking money out of my pocket, it feels like. Patriots end up with 1 award, 2 awards, or 0 awards.
1 award,
Talking
2
about
awards.
Coach of the Year, MVP.
Vrabel, May, one of those 2, or nothing.
Yeah, I guess 3, because they've got Travion, right, in the Rookie of the Year.
No, I don't think he's going to win.
I don't think he is either, but...
I'm going to go 1. I'm going to say
it's a safe answer.
I'm going to say Vrabel wins it.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, Drake May, how many people on broadcast, national broadcast media yesterday were like, Drake May making his MVP resume candidacy known.
It was so flawless early. It felt like that.
I said that. I don't think you were here when I said
the Jets are terrible, but
if you redrafted those quarterbacks from last year, right now in the moment, I said it's probably a little unfair to Jaden because he got hurt. But right now, if you were to draft him in the moment, Drake May's 1. I think, again, if Washington's picking 2, you absolutely go too, with Jaden. How quickly we forget, by the way, that Jaden went into a 15-2 team on the road in the playoffs and put up 45 on them, right? But I think it's Drake May 1, Jaden 2, Caleb 3 at this point. But it's like, ooh, you can't say a bad word about any of them.
Yeah, you really can't. Caught this note this morning on the NFL Daily podcast. The worst 4-week stretch for the New York Jets from a point differential standpoint in the history of the franchise.
And yet, according to DVOA, one of the top 5 special teams in history. So you have that. Buffalo yesterday against the Eagles. This is the Jets at Buffalo, you said? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Allen to Cooks is this is the second time Buffalo has the ball. Consecutive plays, Allen fumbles, recovers it. Then Allen to Cooks for 50. Brandon Cooks showing up left and right yesterday. Then 2 plays later, 2nd and 2 at the Philadelphia 22. Allen fumbles untouched while scrambling. Wet out there. Downpour. Recovered all the way back at the Buffalo 45 by Jihad Campbell. Holy war. 7 plays. Hurts to Goddard from 1 out, 7-0. Eagles closing seconds of the first quarter. Then it'll be 10-0. Then it'll be 13-0 at the half. 2 Elliott field goals as Jake Elliott gets back off the schneid. All right, 13-0. Bills aren't doing anything. Third time the Bills get the ball. Now, here's the thing. Third quarter starts out Buffalo 3 and out, Philly punt. Buffalo punt in the pouring rain, Philly 3 and out. So all of a sudden, Philly is sort of turtling up here. Buffalo defense gets credit, but Philly also is playing like, yeah, we ain't got to worry about anything here. 13-0. Third time Buffalo has the ball from their own 32, a PI along the way. Allen to Tyrell Shavers for 32 on a jump ball downfield to the 7.
What a catch.
What a catch. 4 plays later, 4th and goal from the 3. Allen for 2, hit by Zach Bond. They're stuffed. Can't get it in. Then another Philly 3 and out. Buffalo from the Philly 41. 3rd and 8 of the Philly 27. Nobody open. Allen scrambles, takes a 19-yard sack. They have to punt it. Next, another Philly 3 and out. Next time Buffalo has the ball, still 13-0. After Shakir 28-yard punt return, 11 plays, 54 yards. Allen in from 2. Badgley extra point blocked.
Welcome back, Jalen Carter.
13-6, even in a good moment with 5:11 left in the game. The extra point gets blocked. Buffalo can't have any moment of happiness. Another Philly 3 and out. Buffalo from their own 17 with 3:21 left and all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. A run on 2nd and 10 for 1. An out pass on 3rd for a 1-yard loss. Then 4th and 10 at their own 29. We forget on this drive. 4th and 10 at their own 29 with 1:51 left. Allen to Shavers for 5. Hook and lateral to Johnson for 20 more. Never fails. Unless you're playing man-to-man, Danny tells us. 2 plays later to Cooks for 36. Or as Tom Brady referred to his old teammate, Cookie for 36. Spectacular catch. David Tyree style downfield. 2 plays later, amazing 6-yard Allen run. 3rd and goal to 3 with 23 seconds left. Allen to Knox ruled a touchdown initially, but short on the replay. Tony Romo goes, I don't know, Jim, it's short. 4th and goal, inches away with 18 seconds left. Now, at this point, because they had to review that, they got to do a 10-second runoff. And Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady are perplexed by why the Bills would want the runoff to 8 seconds. Listen, you guys, they want as little time on the clock as possible for the Eagles to do anything with it when they score here. There's no turning back. It's either you score or you don't. The game's over anyway. What's your confusion about? They were so perplexed by this. Yeah. 4th down, Allen in from 1, touchdown, 13-12. Bills decide to go for 2 with 5 seconds left. I think it's the correct move. I said at the beginning of the drive, I texted the group text. I'm like, 2 points, right, at the end of this. Fezzik immediately was like, absolutely you have to go for 2. He gave the math for it. Allen has Shakir wide open, flat out misses him. Eagles win at 13-12 after the onside kick fails. 5 for 51 on onside kicks in the NFL this year, or lifetime with the new rules. Buffalo hosting the Jets. So remember now, with that loss, Buffalo can no longer win the AFC East. Buffalo is one of these teams in seeding no man's land, if you will, heading into the final week of the season. So I said Buffalo -7 because, again, I don't know how the Bills are going to play this.
Yeah.
So it's just a placeholder.
8.5 to 9.5.
Okay.
That's where we're at. I feel like we feel like it's not being talked enough about the Bond stop on Allen, how big that was. But on
Massive.
that play,
Yeah.
was it Brandon Cooks who was just wide open and Josh Allen decided to take it himself?
I didn't see
Oh,
that.
there's a receiver.
Yeah.
I think it was Brandon Cooks. He's just wide open.
Again, I have no problem with them going for 2 because a tie would not have done them anything in the AFC East. Now, was that Sean McDermott's thinking? Was he thinking about the implications of the division? I don't know. In fact, none of his quotes after the game suggest that he was aware that that's why he should have gone for 2 primarily. Also, Allen was gimpy. But McDermott after the game was, we just wanted to be aggressive. Okay, sure, whatever. Coming back.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Hour number 3 of the numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM Channel 158. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin on this Monday morning, post-Christmas, pre-New Year's. Happy New Year to you and yours. I think we're past the Merry Christmas, although Merry Christmas still, by the way. I love Christmas. But we're in the Happy New Year's phase. And again, Kelly, you're allowed to say Happy New Year's till how many days after New Year's itself?
Oh, I say like January 5th.
I said 7th just for the full perfect week, but that's it. No more after
Okay,
that.
I'll go with that.
It gets a little awkward after that. By the
Actually, no. You know, I'm shortening it this year. By Monday, the following Monday, whatever day that is.
Okay.
I think that's the 5th.
That works for me.
Shut it down then. I
Shut
don't
it
need to
down.
be hearing it on Tuesday.
Shut it down.
You can come back to work on Monday, wish everybody a Happy New Year, shut it down after that.
Kelly's like, after that, just wish people a happy Martin Luther King birthday.
There
after
you go.
That. That's what
Sure.
we're going to after that. Sour, by the way, this hour, sponsored by Better, BETR. Better Picks is the daily fantasy sports app where your sports knowledge turns into real cash fast. Download Better or visit better.app now. That's BETR.app. Sign up today. Get a free $10. No deposit necessary. Adam Burke's still to come, by the way, this hour.
That's
Kelly.
right.
We got some bowl games. I wonder if he has any plays on the bowl games today.
News coming down right now. Joe Burrow will play Week 18. Oh, huge shocker there, but
Well, why wouldn't he? He was so anxious to get back anyway. He's like, I'm a football player. So, okay, he'll play. In a meaningless game, by the way. We have one bowl game today. We have 3 tomorrow. Let me be clear about that. Today it's Georgia Southern and App State. See if Appalachian State. See if Adam Burke has any thoughts on that. We'll revisit his thoughts on the quarterfinals and, of course, college hoops as well. He's got some plays there for us. We get tweets at Beat the Book. This is from David Shalafor. Yo, are we sure GM and coach are safe in Buffalo? Pat's back. Happy New Year to the best show on radio. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. I don't know what the Pat's back part was, but
they're back, man.
Oh, they're just back? I said that about McDermott yesterday. We were texting about this. It's like Sean McDermott's greatest talent is having Josh Allen. But I will say he's a defensive guy, right, Sean McDermott? Defense did play well in the second half yesterday. So that was like one of the moments where you're like, hey, he coached him up, I guess. Or did Philly just turtle up? But I don't know. I mean, has there ever been a game where you're like, oh, Sean McDermott, it's amazing?
No,
of course not.
But he has Josh Allen, so he'll be
his greatest talent
attached to him, right? And I think he's probably safe.
Right.
I mean, look, I think more questions. I have more questions about Brandon Beane. I don't think he's going anywhere either. But like, you got to do better with putting better players around Josh Allen. This roster should be better.
Totally agree. Ryan Thompson, January 7th, last day to wish somebody a Happy New Year per Larry David on Curb Your Enthusiasm. I don't remember that.
I was going to bring that up. Was it the exact date he used? Or was there? I thought he had like a certain amount of time like I was giving too.
James,
That's a great episode.
James Fessler. The biggest Week 18 schedule news is that by placing the Carolina-Tampa Bay game and Seattle-San Francisco games on Saturday, the NFL sets up the NFC South hosting during the coveted Saturday early playoff slot.
Yep.
Congrats, Houston. You've escaped, he says. I think you're right, James. I think Houston has escaped.
That's pretty big time.
Their God-given birthright playoff time slot. Money down bets. I've got Christian McCaffrey 40-1 for Offensive Player of the Year. Do we think that has a real chance of getting home? For me personally, right, if there was no such thing as Comeback Player of the Year, right, because Christian McCaffrey is going to get Comeback Player of the Year, I believe, and he's the prohibitive favorite in that. If that award didn't exist, I think you money down bets have yourself a great ticket. But because they're going to give him that, right now Jackson Smith and Jigba's minus 150 for Offensive Player of the Year, Puka's plus 240, and McCaffrey's plus 450. I mean, McCaffrey might end up with 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving for the second time. Nobody's ever done it twice.
Yep.
Everybody else is triple digits. Forget double digits, right? It's those three guys. I think you're going, let's put it this way. Sorry to say it this way, money down. I think you're going to get screwed because that other award exists. And Jackson Smith and Jigba's kind of awesome. So there's that too. And Puka's kind of awesome too.
You're so right, though.
Yeah.
If Comeback Player of the Year did not exist, this would be tighter than it actually is. But it's the human brain, right? Like you talk about it all the time, whether it's unders or whatever we're talking about betting wise. Think about what voters have to do when they have to fill out a ballot. You're going to go and write down Christian McCaffrey for one award, and you're going to pause there on the next one and say, am I really going to write his name down twice, or should I honor someone else who's had a great, great season?
Yeah. This is from Jason H11. Jason, this is what you are saying here in this tweet. This is an A+ tweet because this is the problem with the Patriots, right? Jason H11 says, I'm very hesitant regarding the Patriots. Do you realize the Giants have more wins? The Giants, the 3-13 Giants, have more wins against teams with winning records than the Patriots do. Just saying. He's right about this. The Giants have beaten, if memory serves, the Eagles and the Chargers, correct? The Giants. Giants have beaten the Eagles and the Chargers. The Patriots have beaten the Bills. Everybody else is 500 or worse that they've beaten. Yeah, that's where it's sort of like, that's where it gets to, they got the easy schedule. Listen, take nothing away from them. They've crushed their easy schedule, but they've only beaten the Bills with a winning record. Giants have 2 wins against teams with winning records.
I mean, look, there's a lot of teams. They're not the only one, right? Like San Francisco is one of these too, where like, okay, let me see what it looks like in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They somehow have gone through the whole regular season, and yes, there's a bit of an unknown.
Money Gun Guz, top 10, circa millions. Speaking of flying, isn't it nice to be able to keep our shoes on now when they're scanning our bodies? Thanks for
my God.
Thanks for keeping my socks clean.
My mind was blown by that.
Looking at the AFC Championship, I can't get my eyes off those Ravens plus 950, he says. Wow. Love for the Ravens.
Yeah. I didn't count that this trip.
Good luck at millions, Money Gun.
I had not been on a plane since that had become a thing. I could just walk through security with my shoes on.
Yeah, don't take off your shoes now.
The
whole shoe thing was ridiculous because it was one
guy.
One dude was a shoe bomber, and then it ruined our lives for forever.
I actually had a pretty good laugh with the TSA guy at the first time around. I was like, wow, this only took like 20 years. Like, and he was like, we got stupid laughs at the TSA line.
I told you about my low-key arguments with the TSA guy with my sunscreen back in the day.
Yep. You would have been proud of me. I continued both sides of my trip, the ushering along as well, asking up. I didn't ask about the shoes, but I did do my normal. I'm about 5 people back. I'm like, hey, what do we got to take out of the bag? We got to take anything out of the bag?
You did that?
Oh, yeah. I still always do that. I always do that.
You know what my new pet peeve is?
How many people get there and they don't know what to do? And the TSA agents always talk to them like they should always know, but it's different at every airport.
It's different at every airport. By the way, it's different terminal to terminal within the same airport.
And the TSA acts like you're idiots for not knowing every time.
My new pet peeve in the airport is the person on the other side of the conveyor belt as you're going through security and you're putting stuff from your pockets into your bag and the conveyor belt is moving along,
in line.
And they grab your bag and try to move it along faster and you're like, whoa, hey, settle down. You see me putting stuff in the bag? That guy or girl. Joe C714, our buddy Joe C. I don't understand all the hate for Caleb. Do people not like his play on the field or is it all the off the field stuff? What's the off the field stuff? For a year 2 quarterback, he's fine. Can't label him yet as a bust, average, or elite. Joe, I don't think anybody dislikes Caleb's game at this point. What earlier folks were referring to was Merrill Hodge, who called him nothing special. We used to play the audio for that from his interview with us. He didn't think Caleb was anything special. And I will say this, Ben Johnson coached that kid up.
Yes.
He misses some open receivers. And Chris Collins, now I will give you this. I think Chris Collinsworth plays favorites. And when Chris Collinsworth doesn't necessarily like you, he will point out your flaws more than he will others, right? If Patrick Mahomes misses those 3 receivers last night who are open, I'm not sure we get it as emphatically from Chris Collinsworth as we do with Caleb. I will grant you that.
I mean, Ben Johnson, the improvements on the offensive side of the ball, right? I mean, on the roster, the offensive linemen they brought in, how these receivers have developed. Loveland, he's been awesome. That offense is great. I'll go back to the old Kelly quarterback game. Bryce Young or Caleb Williams?
I'll take Caleb.
I'll take Caleb.
Yeah.
I'll take Caleb.
And the numbers, guys. I got the Lions over 8.5 wins the day after they lost the Packers in week 1. Thought I was the smartest guy in the room 5 weeks ago, still bragging. Presently, writing my gambling help book, Dummy's Guide to Idioting. All right, let's do next. What's
All
next?
right, we got Sunday. We're still in the late window. 4:25 Eastern. Dolphins at Patriots.
7-9 Dolphins. Quinn Ewers, 14 of 22 for 172. They were outgained by Tampa, by the way, 380 to 298, but they were +3 in turnovers, and that's all she wrote. And Drake May, as I mentioned, 19 of 21 with 5 touchdown passes yesterday as the Patriots clinched the AFC East when Buffalo lost. I'll say New England -8.5. Again, a New England win and a Broncos loss. New England would be the number 1 seed in the AFC.
New England 10.5 to 11.5 point favorites.
Okay. And again, why does New England lose a tiebreaker with the Broncos common opponents by 1 game? That game, the Raiders lost week 1. What a result for this NFL season. The Raiders beating the Patriots week 1. Not only mind-blowing, but might determine the number 1 seed.
Tua or Caleb Williams?
We're doing this again?
I can't get it out of my head. You guys got
Caleb.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think I'll go Caleb.
Well, he's
too.
younger. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go Caleb because he's younger. All right, next.
Yeah.
Cardinals and Rams.
Rams sight unseen. Rams are at the Falcons tonight. Again, Falcons have something to do, perhaps. If the Falcons win out, they might be involved in the tiebreaker in the NFC South if it's a 3-way tie, but they'd have to win out. They'd have to win tonight to begin with. But this is the Rams hosting the Cardinals, so Rams sight unseen. I'll say 10-point favorites against the Cardinals. I don't know.
9.5.
Okay. One more.
Across the board. Lions at Bears.
Lions at Bears. Lions coming off that 6-turnover debacle. They're done. Eliminated from playoff contention. Chicago last night off that heartbreaking loss in the final play to the Niners, but the Bears already clinched the NFC North on Saturday. The Bears can be a 2 or 3 seed. Them and the Eagles jockeying 2 and 3. I'll say the Bears -2.5 here. Not quite a field goal.
Yeah, it is 2.5 everywhere.
Okay. Wow, this has not been a value-seeking exercise today. Adam Burke on the other side on a numbers game at VSiN.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on a numbers game, live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. Gil Alexander, Kelly Bidlin, Calais Badalon. Hey, don't forget about our holiday, New Year, here at VSiN. We're all going to be here, once again, starting first thing in the morning. The new year off can be started with VSiN Pro subscription, of course. Final week to save 50% off the regular monthly price with our holiday special. Sign up now, get VSiN Pro access through May 1st for just $79, including daily best bets, real-time betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, AI-powered prop tools, and 24/7 video on the VSiN Watch app, covering everything from the college football playoffs and NFL playoffs to March Madness and the Masters. Plus, you'll receive our college football playoff betting guide, complete with expert brackets, Steve McKinnon's power ratings, CFP and bowl best bets, and previews for every bowl game. Start the new year with an edge. Go to VSiN.com/subscribe. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. Well worth it. Excited about getting back into tennis coming up. You, golf?
Yes.
Did you check out this Battle of the Sexes match between Sabalenka and Kyrgios?
I did not.
What a debacle.
Was it entertaining at all?
I didn't watch a second of it.
Yeah. I missed the start of TGL last night as well, I believe. The golf league.
You know, they did. This was like
tomorrow's golf league.
This is like a nod towards the old Bobby Riggs, Billie Jean King Battle of the Sexes in the 70s. But like they made Kyrgios's, so the Sabalenka side of the court was smaller. So Kyrgios's target was smaller than Sabalenka's. He still beat her 6-3, 6-3. But it's like, if you're going to do this, have it even, right?
Yeah, isn't that
That's
the whole point
of this? Yeah, that was so stupid. Anyway,
well, that really makes 0 sense. Okay.
we didn't talk about the Sunday night football game.
No, we have not gotten there yet.
We should probably do that. This is the battle for the winner of the AFC North. Now, here's the Deliosis once again. Pittsburgh wins, Pittsburgh ties. Pittsburgh is your AFC North titleist. But Baltimore wins, it's Baltimore's. And Baltimore will win it based on a better division record than Pittsburgh. That's the tiebreaker they will win it on if Baltimore wins this football game. Now, Baltimore, by the way, Pittsburgh's magic number was 1. Any Pittsburgh win or Baltimore loss heading into this past weekend, going into Week 18, and Pittsburgh would win the division. But Baltimore beats Green Bay behind Derrick Henry and 216 yards. 36 carries, 216 yards for Derrick Henry with 4 touchdowns. Part of Baltimore's 307 total rushing yards, where they held the ball for over 40 minutes. By the way, that's Derrick Henry's 7th 200-yard rushing game in his career, breaking a tie with Adrian Peterson and O.J. Simpson. Whatever became of that guy, by the way? That's a new record. And then Pittsburgh loses to the Browns in a game, again, where they could have clinched the division and not had to play here Week 18. Not had to play anybody Week 18. Instead, the showdown. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Now, here's the thing. If I were guessing this line not knowing the history of Ravens lines, I would say, probably Pittsburgh minus 1.5.
Right? I hear you.
But because I know that Baltimore, even when they have sucked, were week after week after week overrated by the market. Now they finally got their win, right? A signature win for the Ravens. Baltimore's got to be favored, right? I said Baltimore minus 2.5.
It's a full 3. It's a full 3. That was a great breakdown by you. And guess what? I bet the Ravens too. Even I got hooked in. It has moved. There are a lot of 3.5s on the board right now. Had a feeling we would see some Ravens support early, and yeah, we are. It is 3.5. A lot of places where you're paying some heavy juice for the 3.
If we were to let's include.
And do we know Lamar Jackson's playing next week?
Okay, we don't know anything about that.
No, we do not. I guess I'm assuming he is, but we do not.
They looked kind of okay with Snoop Huntley.
Yeah.
Obviously, Derrick Henry did most of the damage, but if we were to seed all of the 16 playoff teams, and let's throw in the 2 choices in both the AFC North and the NFC South, so both the Bucs and the Panthers, both the Ravens and the Steelers, so 18 seeded teams, if we will. Where do the Steelers and Ravens get seeded for you?
Oh man, should we do should this be our power rankings for tomorrow?
I'm just curious. Because
I didn't know where you were going with this at first. I'm interested in all 16 now. Steelers and Ravens. Ravens are ahead of the Steelers.
Not by much.
But not by much. And, man, they are... I mean, I don't know. Do you have an answer off the top of your head? I'd have to count teams here.
I often ask questions not knowing the answer, hoping that you will...
I mean, I would put everybody in the current AFC playoff picture ahead of them. So Broncos, Patriots, Jags, Texans, Chargers, Bills, above both teams.
I think the answer, right, is everybody but the Bucs and the Panthers. Isn't it?
Yes, it is. That is the answer.
Okay. Including the Bears. Yes? I think
including the Bears. Yes,
including
absolutely.
the Bears. So, yeah, I guess that's what I'm getting at, which is, we just had Money Gun Guz, who's top 10 millions. He likes the Ravens plus 950 to win the AFC.
I might have the Ravens above the Bucs.
Yeah, no, I would. Everybody above the Bucs and the Panthers, I said. They're below everybody except the Bucs and Panthers.
Gotcha, okay.
But I guess what I'm saying is the Steelers are probably ranked 16th, where the Ravens 15th, and then the Bucs and Panthers are 17 and 18. So I'm just saying this is it's an interesting game where the Ravens, have they put it all together? Was that one game enough for us to think they put it all together? And then what damage could either of them really do in the postseason? Do you look at, I certainly don't look at the Steelers as a threat in the AFC playoffs. Do you look at the Ravens as that? I don't. I just don't think you can press a button and think you're all of a sudden going to turn into beast mode. Your best. You haven't looked like it all year.
I don't think we will either, because, yes, what have we seen all season long, even back to the early weeks of the season? When we were talking about something looks off with Lamar, we don't really know what's going on.
I reserve the push button thing for the Eagles. They're the one team I'm willing to grant. Could the Eagles flip a switch? Sorry, not push button. Flip a switch?
Yeah.
And become the Eagles from last year? Maybe not to the full extent, but could I see them winning playoff games? Absolutely. I can't see that with the Ravens or Steelers.
I want to say that as well, but man, would you be really be shocked if Lamar Jackson went out there, came back, went out there, and had a Lamar Jackson-esque classic?
I love to say no, I wouldn't be, but I think I would be.
Okay.
Right. He just looks like such a shell of his former self.
I'm with you.
If he even plays. Let me ask it, of course, the other way, which is what I asked the Megapod crew with Ben Wilson last week. I finally made a couple Super Bowl matchups. This was
Ben Wilson on the Megapod.
Ben Wilson was on the Megapod.
Woo.
Second straight year. He went 3-0. Guest chair is killing it this year.
Killing it. Let's go, Betty.
Todd is like, I won the championship. I'm like, the guest chair really won the championship.
Betty in the bets.
So I asked, what's your Super Bowl matchup? I ended up betting the Chargers versus the Rams and the Chargers versus the Niners. Then the Chargers go ahead and they lose to the Texans. All right, so I have the Chargers-Rams, pardon me, and then I have the Chargers-Niners at 125-1 or something. I feel like that's the question. Like, if it's still it's a simple question. Every other year we ask it, people have an idea. Oh, this team and this team, this team. Do you have any idea? What's your Super Bowl matchup at this point?
I will stand by what I have said for 2 months now, something like that.
Yeah. Rams
or Seahawks out of the NFC. Almost any team that you could see if you're watching at home on this AFC playoff picture graphic.
So in other words, you don't have an answer.
I don't have an AFC. I guess get rid of the. Yes, I'd be surprised if it's Steelers or Ravens. Definitely not Steelers.
You just answered the question. 2 teams versus 7 teams. That's what you just answered.
That's what I just said.
Yep. It's good stuff right there.
And you know what's even crazier is that the NFC is the much tougher conference.
It's good effort out of you. Yeah, no, the NFC is like, again, power rankings. Who's your number one AFC team and where do they rank? What's the first AFC team in your power rankings?
Patriots, and they were before I left, they were like 4th or 5th in my power rankings. I don't think they'll drop too much. They would go down further than that.
Having beaten one winning team.
Yeah. That 1 seed is going to matter so much. I mean, that is.
I think it matters more in the NFC. Because I think the AFC, whether it's the Broncos or the Patriots, they're still the Broncos and the Patriots, and you know their flaws. Right?
Yeah.
Patriots, you just haven't seen them play anybody. And then the Broncos, again, do we think that defense can propel them to the Super Bowl? I don't know. But the NFC, what is that number 1 seed? Seahawks, Niners for the number 1 seed, the NFC. Who does that number 1 seed mean more to between those 2 teams, would you say? Seahawks getting to play at home in that great environment in Seattle, or the Niners, who
I think it means more than the Niners. Actually,
means more than the Niners.
Yep,
so it's an interesting question. I don't know who it means more to, but I think that number 1 seed may even incrementally mean more than whoever gets it in the AFC. It's either way, it's huge because you miss an entire week of football. You get a bye. So no other handicap. People will tell you, oh, this team playing this team. No, nothing means more than not having to play at all. It's the biggest deal. Because all you had to do is 2 games and you're in the Super Bowl. That's it. 2 home games.
We didn't even bring it up, 49ers, right?
What do you mean?
They could just be playing at home.
Oh, I brought it up last week.
Time.
Last week I brought it up. 5 straight games at home. You're in the Super Bowl.
Bet you didn't hear that anywhere else this weekend.
Yeah, right. No, it's 5 games, including the Super Bowl, I should say, right? Coming back. We'll recap bets, any that we've made, on a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Once again, don't forget we are brought to you by Better, BETR. If you think you know sports, get paid for it with Better Picks, the daily fantasy app that turns your sports knowledge into real cash. Just download Better, pick more or less on your favorite players' stats, and if your picks hit, you win. New users get a free $10 just for signing up. No deposit required, and when you deposit, you'll get a 50% match up to $200. Play NBA, WNBA, MLB, soccer, UFC, golf, and more. Go to better.app or download Better today and use promo code VSiN for your free $10 and deposit bonus. Merle Betts. Hey, guys, if you want to experience airport hell, book a flight out of Las Vegas with all the Husker fans after New Year's Eve. We can herd cattle, but we can't herd ourselves in accordance with societal norms. Happy New Year's. Early. Apparently, the Nebraska fans don't get on planes very well.
You know what I've noticed about Nebraska fans in Vegas?
What that is?
whenever the women's volleyball finals are.
Oh,
do you remember
huge.
this? The South Point?
Huge.
The South Point, they'd they'd overrun that bar right outside where our studio was. And
Nebraska women's volleyball is the most rabid fan base of anything that most people don't know about in the country, any sport.
It's a broad statement. I'm going to agree, though.
Yeah.
What I saw that one time at the South Point, I was like, what is going on?
Let me try to go double negative, maybe on let me do it the Wyatt Tomchek way.
No, the Kelly way, yeah.
They are the collegiate sport that is not known. That is, I can't even do it. It's too hard. I can't even talk that way. iHeart SEC podcast. Hey, man's got an iHeart SEC podcast. He says 3-team parlay: Derrick Henry, Ramondre Stevenson, Saquon Barkley, 2+ touchdowns, 214-1. I put $10 on it to win $2,300. I get through on the first two legs. Only offered $200 on FanDuel cash out. Decide to ride it out, and of course, the Eagles give me nothing. It's hard to trust the Eagles, he says. 3Jack, H3131. Gil, I heard your Christmas promo on my way in this morning. You just have to listen to other people's shows. He says, how soon can I expect tennis and baseball month-long wins bets? Tennis is coming up in a week. Let's go. Can't wait. I'm ready for tennis. It was a good break. I needed the break.
Yeah.
Ready to get back into it. And then baseball monthlies, man. Baseball monthlies were horrific this year. I do apologize. We're so good at it last year. Not this year. Numbers Guys has comes a math problem. He says, let's say Jaden is X, Caleb is X minus 1, Drake is X minus 2, X is age. So based on age alone, he says,
algebra.
He goes on age alone, he would go Drake 1, Caleb 2, Jaden 3. By the way, he says Bo Nix is X plus 1. Bo Nix older than Jaden. There you go. Just another way to look at
All right.
it.
That works.
Jason McKinney says, I heard your Christmas wishes today. I teared up.
Teared up.
I've also scheduled your New Year's wishes for Tuesday just to poke the bear. Hey, thanks, man. I'm glad it brought you to tears.
That's a good idea. We should get out in front of that, Gil.
Yeah.
So,
we have New Year's wishes to do too?
No, I haven't been told that. But we send him to Steve Cohen. We look like superstar
I'm a
students.
Christmas guy.
You know?
Just throw some Christmas music on behind me and I'll just pour out my soul.
Hey, I got a tweet from Brandon Webb. Brock or Caleb? I love that people are tweeting now.
I am going Brock.
This one's actually easy for
I think
Brock. For the two of us. Easy Brock.
Brock.
It's Brocktober, baby. Let's go.
Plus, he does the Dougie.
Oh, actually, more significant things to mention about old Brock. Seahawks support coming in this morning. I don't know that I should be surprised by that, but I am a little bit. We have jumped the old fence, 1.5 Seattle pretty much everywhere now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
keep going. Get to 3. I want to make a bet.
Yeah, Gil. You know me. I've been betting. There was like 6 weeks in a row where I bet Seattle. I don't know how many weeks I bet Seattle this week, including this past week. I laid 6.5 at Carolina. They have treated me very well. The idea of tying the 49ers into a teaser this week is very attractive to me.
By the way, Mariners Geek corrects me. You are correct, Mariners Geek. He says, you're confusing me. There are 14 playoff teams, not 16. That's right. So I'm sorry. I don't know why I got that in my head. So, yes, to me, the Panthers and Bucks would be in whatever order, 15 and 16, pardon me.
Yeah, but we were doing the ones that are all still alive right now. There's still 8, right? 8.
No. But there's what he's saying is correct. There's 7 in each conference, so that's 14. And then we're doing the 2 that are on the outside looking in. So it's 16 total, not 18. I don't know where I got 18.
I know. Did you say 18?
Yeah, I said 18 once. I don't know what's wrong with me. Now I was just going to ask you a question. Now I forgot what I was going to ask you.
Oh, gosh.
The Sam Darnold thing. So we are at that point, right?
We are. We are at that point.
I think it needs to be brought up. We are at that point of the season where it's like, hey, we saw Sam Darnold have this unbelievable season with the Vikings last year, and then, well, not so much, right?
Yes.
Final 2 games we got to see him play, regular season playoffs. We are at that point. Is this going to be the, are we going to, how many times, what's the over-under on number of times Saturday against the Niners where you will say some version of, there he is, or will Sam Darnold overcome that reputation and that brand and have himself a ball game?
This is the most important next month of football in Sam Darnold's life. This is legacy month, right? The way that you perform in these games is likely how you are going to be treated as a quarterback in the history and how we remember the NFL.
But this is the beauty of this year, though, because you're right about Darnold, right, which is why I bring it up. But let's just think about the quarterbacks who are in the playoffs. Bo Nix, Drake May, Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen. So I guess Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers, right? The Ravens, we don't know who's playing quarterback. But essentially, everybody besides Josh Allen that I just mentioned and Aaron Rodgers, if he got in, question marks about all of them. What are we going to Justin Herbert's Kelly, you're Mr. Justin Herbert reputation questioner, right? But then all these other guys, Nix.
No, he could lose, and everybody will bring up the offensive line injuries.
If Drake May puts out a clunker in game 1, what do you think the postscript on his season is going to be like? Well, yeah, it's such an easy schedule, and when we saw him play somebody, right? Yeah. Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you talk about a guy whose career-defining moments is right here, right now.
Trevor's on that list too,
right?
But you know what, Trevor Lawrence, to your credit, you have played so well here recently that you are in that conversation.
NFC, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love. I mean, there are so many quarterbacks in this year's playoffs that we just have no idea how they're going to perform.
Danny just passed this along. It's a great tweet from the NFL. The only quarterbacks in NFL history with back-to-back 13-win seasons. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Sam Darnold.
Say that list again.
And it doesn't matter. This list does not matter. The next month matters for Sam Darnold. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Sam Darnold.
So not only four Hall of Famers, 4 of the all-time greats.
Yes.
And Sam Darnold. That's the list.
But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
No.
The next 5 games that you could play Sam Darnold are what matters. And that's how you're going to be remembered.
And Sam Darnold's a human. Sam Darnold knows it. He knows it's about.
It was a good point by you with Trevor Lawrence, too. Trevor Lawrence has played so well to even bring himself into that same conversation. Yep. This is the next month you could shut up a whole lot of people, Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
Including myself, maybe a little bit of Gil. I don't want to completely throw him on.
No, because I
talked a lot of trash about Trevor Lawrence over the years.
I used to say how, by the way, it has taken a long time for Trevor Lawrence.
Of course it has, especially since we crowned him when he was like 12 years old.
Remember, he was generational, right?
Generational. Yep.
Only bet I made today, Panthers +3 at the Bucs. The very first game we talked about ends up being the only bet I made. All those other games, there's too much squirreliness. We don't know how they're going to play it for a lot of these teams that have only seeding to play for. Again, not for a number 1 seed, but jockeying for position. Yes, a 5 seed matters, but the difference between 2 and 3, the difference between 6 and 7 in the case of the AFC, do we really know how those teams are going to play it? I've made 2 Super Bowl matchups. Chargers-Rams at 28-1, Chargers-Niners at 66-1. I feel like I should probably make another that doesn't involve the Chargers, just in case. And then, of course, later in the week, we can't wait, quarterfinals, New Year's Eve. So what's the 29th? So we're talking about Wednesday night. Dude, a little more than 48 hours from now.
Too much time in between games.
Yeah. First game is Miami and Ohio State, Friday night, New Year's Eve. Miami +8.5. I thought it was going to go the other way. I got the worst of it. And then I got to play it all 3 on Thursday. And we'll be here Thursday morning. I got Texas Tech plus the 1.5. I got Indiana -6.5. I got Georgia -6.5. And then, of course, I have the Hoosiers to win it all at 10-1.
I'll be with you on Miami and Texas Tech. I think I'm going to stay away from the other 2. Let's see. One bad NBA bet for me tonight. Nets +3. Thought Steph was going to sit out tonight on the back-to-back. Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's going to go. That line has shot up to Warriors 5.5, 6 out there right now, so stay away from that one. NFL so far for me, I played the under in the Chargers-Broncos game. Got that at 40.5 on open. And then Ravens, I did lay the 3 with them.
Okay.
Let's go, Danny Higgins. Let's go, Ravens.
Adam Burke, he's on Nebraska, +2 touchdowns versus Utah in college football, Texas Tech in the quarterfinal. And then tonight in college hoops, the last game played, he's on Utah +11.5 at UW. And then a little earlier, rando bet, Iona -4.5 versus Mount St. Mary's at Mount St. Mary's, as a matter of fact. We've done all we can do. Prop Points with John Hansen next from VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Enjoy.